Forasmuch as these two persons have come hither to be made one in this holy estate, if there be anyone present who knows any just cause why they may not be lawfully joined in marriage, let him speak now, or forever hold his peace. Wilt thou take this woman?
Your eyes weren't playing tricks on you. The fella you just saw being led to the ceremony was me, all right. Dobie Gillis, boy groom. Now, I know what you're thinking. So the ceremony got started okay, but naturally something happened to keep it from finishing. Well, that's where you're wrong. Everything went off like clockwork, except one little detail. I can't find the ring.
Fortunately, I happen to carry a spare wedding ring with me at all times. A single girl can never tell when lightning will strike.
And now the groom will repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
And now, by virtue of the power vested in me, I pronounce you man and wife.
Congratulations.
My good buddy marching off to Matrimonialsville. I mean, like, woe is me.
Maynard, how many times do I have to tell you they're not married?
Like a lass and a lack, like a... They're not? It's over so quick? What an age we live in.
Maynard, concentrate. Dobie and Jane just went through what is called a marriage by proxy. Understand?
No.
Look, Jane always wanted a big wedding with her family all around. But Eddie got this job down in South America, so he couldn't be here for the ceremony. So Dobie took his place. Dobie is Eddie's proxy. That's like a substitute. Get it?
They won't be happy.
Why not?
Two fellas marry the same girl? You know that mixed marriages never work out.
Maynard. Jane, dear, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, darling, and thank you for lending Dobie to me.
Since it involves saying I do, I figured he could use the practice.
Zelda, please.
Oh, excuse me.
You see, Snookums, getting married didn't hurt a bit, so how's about trying it again soon?
I'd love to.
Now you're talking, dollface.
I'm always available for proxy marriages.
Oh, you poor misguided fool. Why do you insist on defying the inevitable? No matter how great the odds, how rugged the barriers, how high the obstacles, sooner or later you are going to be mine. To get you, Snookums, there's nothing I won't do, nothing I can't do.
Attention, everyone. My boat sails at 5, and I'll expect you all on board to see me off. Now, girls.
Oh, well.
She can do anything. I'm doomed. Doomed. Spooky, wasn't it? But you saw for yourself what she can do. 5 feet tall and 101 pounds at the outside. But if she was playing football against the Chicago Bears, I'd take Zelda and give you 10 points. I mean, she can do anything. So when we got to that bon voyage party at the boat, I watched her like a hawk.
All visitors ashore, please. The ship sails in 15 minutes. All visitors ashore.
Bye, Jane. Good luck. Well,
Bye.
best of luck, Jane. Pleasant voyage. Regards, Daddy. Don't forget to write.
Okay, bye,
Come on, Maynard.
Wait a minute, I haven't said goodbye to Jane yet.
We'll wait for you on deck.
Bye. Bye.
He can't get away. My brain is too powerful.
Maynard, I'm worried. I mean worried. Zelda's made up her mind to marry me, and when she gets an idea in her head, there's no stopping her.
Poor Dobe.
She'll keep after me and pester me and outmaneuver me and brainwash me until I finally run out of strength and say yes.
Poor Dobe.
Someday I might want to get married. Maybe even to Zelda. Not yet. I'm not ready for marriage.
Poor Dobe.
Maynard, can't you say something besides poor Dobe?
Poor Walter Funk. Okay, poor Maynard.
Nah, why do I even bother to fight it? I'm doomed. As long as Zelda's around, I haven't got a... Hey, that's it. What if Zelda wasn't around?
Yeah, good thinking. Did I ever tell you about my idea to toss it to the sharks?
I mean, she'd be around, but I wouldn't.
We tossed you to the sharks?
Listen, what would happen if I went away for a few months? Zelda'd get tired waiting for me, and she'd set her traps for some other poor schnook. And by the time I got back, she'd have hooked him, and she'd be safely married, and I'd be free. Smart, huh?
The sharks would be juicier.
The only question is, where in this world can I go to get away from her? Where?
Don't look at me. I flunked geography 4 times out of 3.
You didn't do too good in arithmetic either.
The ship sails in 10 minutes. All visitors ashore, please. All visitors ashore.
Of course. Right here. I'll stow away. When the ship sails, Zelda gets off and heads for home, and I stay on and head for South America.
You think we'll like it down there in Hot Tamalesville?
We? Oh, no, Maynard, no. I mean, I appreciate your loyalty, but you've got no reason to stow away.
Oh, no? Who's going to take care of you when you get seasick?
Hey, Maynard,
Who's going to bring you pills when you get seasick?
Look.
Who's going to hold your head when you get seasick?
All right, Maynard, if that's what you want to do.
It sure is, good buddy. And you got to promise me one thing.
What?
Please don't get seasick.
You know, I've got to admit I'm proud of myself. After all these years of struggling, I'll finally be able to look myself in the eye and say, goodbye, Zelda.
Goodbye, Dobie.
Goodbye, Dobie. Zelda, what kind of defeatist talk is that?
Oh, I'm tired of beating my head against the wall. Sure, I put on a big act like I got him all ready to propose, but I haven't.
Do you?
And I never will. Dobie's gonna stay a bachelor all his life, or else some other girl's gonna come along and grab him. He'll never be Mr. Zelda Gilroy.
Oh, listen,
Oh,
honey.
Jean, seeing you actually get married made me realize I've been chasing after nothing but a wild, wonderful, impossible dream. In the dream, I even know how he'd propose. He'd get down on one knee, naturally, and he'd say,
Zelda, my dear, I shall love you with every fiber of my being for as long as I live. Will you be my wife?
Zelda.
Then his kooky friend Maynard would charge in and say,
Like marry her? Good buddy, you got to be Joshua.
my Dobie would remain loyal, steadfast, and true, and he'd say,
Yes, Maynard, I shall marry Zelda because she is truth and beauty and poetry.
Zelda, how did you imitate their voices so perfectly?
oh, I saw this coupon in the back of a magazine. Throw your voice for fun and profit. So I sent away for the course. I can copy any voice I hear.
Zelda, you can do anything.
Yeah, except get Dobie. Oh, Jane, if he'd only give himself a chance, I know my sweet, dim-witted lame brain could learn to love me. But how's he gonna find out? It's hopeless.
I know how you feel. For a while there, it looked hopeless for Eddie and me, too.
Yeah, I remember. Then he got that job far away in South America, and he began to realize how lonely he was. And 3 weeks later, you got a cablegram saying, Darling, I love you, I miss you, please marry me, cable answer immediately, collect if necessary. Jane, my problem is solved. I simply put a provocative amount of distance between me and Dobie and give him time to realize how deliciously vital I am to him, and voila, here comes the bride.
But how can you do that? Eddie went to South America. Dobie's still in school. He isn't going anyplace.
True, but I am to South America with you in this cabin.
But
Poor Dobie. He'll be miserable. No, he'll suffer. Isn't that wonderful? But what arguing, girl? Let's go find the captain and introduce him to his charming new passenger.
And after the captain catches us, he puts chains on us and drags us down to the cellar and makes us row the boat with them big long oars.
Maynard, they haven't done that since Ben-Hur.
He'll make us gallery slaves.
Maynard, please. We just hide in this lifeboat until we're too far out at sea for him to turn around and bring us back. And then we come out and present ourselves to the captain and volunteer to do absolutely anything to pay for our passage. Any kind of hard, grueling work.
Work!
It's the only way we can make up for what we've done. Besides, it's better than getting married, isn't it?
What ain't good, buddy? What ain't?
Yeah, I've got to hurry up and write a note to my folks and tell them what we're doing. It's vacation anyhow, so they won't mind. I'm going to tell them to call your folks, too, and explain everything. Your father won't object, will he?
Oh, no, he likes for me to travel. I have a standing offer. He'll pay my transportation to any place in the world I want to go.
Oh, good.
One way.
Last call. The ship sails in 5 minutes. All ashore. Last call. All visitors ashore at once.
Well, Latin gentlemen are world famous for their concern with matters of the heart. Is it not so?
Caramba, yes. We live for the matters of the heart.
Then Captain Lopez will certainly understand why I beg him to allow me to sail on this ship. I've been forsaken by my fiancé. My heart is sick with sorrow. I must sail away, far away, to forget.
Why did you not say so at once? Of course you may sail with our little one. When it comes to love, regulations, bah.
Bless you, sir.
A sea voyage will mend you rapidly. And who knows, perhaps you will find a new love.
On this boat?
It is true we are mainly a cargo ship, but there are 2 other passengers, both bachelors.
I don't think I'm quite ready for other men yet, Captain.
The Englishman, very rich.
I'm beholden to you, but no thanks.
And the Italian, very handsome.
Sounds fascinating, but I pass.
We shall see, my child. With a heart no one can tell when love will enter and sweep all before it. And when it does, remember, Lopez is available.
Available?
Available?
Available. The broken-hearted little one can be married at sea. Lopez will perform the ceremony. He is available.
I should only find a groom so available.
To marry a loving couple is my fondest dream. To 20 years I've waited, and I'm always on cargo ships. I've fought hurricanes and dodged submarines and salvaged shipwrecks.
But never a wedding?
Not even a rehearsal.
I'll see what I can do.
Not even an engagement.
I'll look around.
Not even a rehearsal for an engagement.
I'll give it my all.
Ah, will you, señorita? Gracias. And now Lopez insists that you sail with us. He will arrange everything.
Thank you, Captain Lopez.
Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today to join this man and this woman. Good, eh? I've been rehearsing for a very long distance. This woman...
Here's the location of our ship, somewhere at sea, but not half as much as I was. I mean, I, poor trusting fool, thought I was safe and secure and Zelda-less.
Well, I just sent off a radiogram to my folks. Great. In no time at all, Dobie will know I am far, far away, and then watch him start to miss me. Boy.
Now all you have to do is wait and be patient.
Right. And when it comes to being patient, I am a rock. Jane?
Yes, dear.
It's been quite a while since I sent that radiogram, so how come I haven't heard from him?
Zelda.
I'm hungry, Dobe.
Maynard, calm down. You'll just have to live on the emergency rations we found in the lifeboat.
I'll never make it. All I've had to eat is 10 boxes of crackers, a package of dried beef, 20 or 30 chocolate bars, and a gallon of powdered milk.
Maynard, scientifically, that's enough to get you through 2 full weeks.
2 full weeks? I ate that in the last 10 minutes.
Ah, señorita. Another lovely day, is it not?
Yeah, I guess so. Any messages for me, Captain Lopez?
Ah, yes. The young English passenger will love to meet you. And the young Italian.
No, I meant like messages from home. Like a radiogram.
Alas, no.
Golly, it's been 3 days now. Do you think maybe the delivery boy's rowboat broke down or something?
Señorita, I'm the last man in the world to throw a wet blanket on romance. It seems clear that you and your boyfriend is terminado. Poof. Take my advice and forget him.
I can't.
Of course you can. I suggest a shipboard romance. Very stimulating.
I imagine.
And if it should blossom into the real thing...
I know.
Lopez is available.
I figured.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man and this woman in the bonds of holy matrimony.
So, by the time you receive this letter, I will be many, many miles away. I have taken this drastic step and run away because I'm
Try chicken?
Because I'm
Try yellow-bellied?
Here, this is serious. I have to write Zelda a letter that'll convince her that she'd better forget about me and latch onto some other...
Sucker.
Maynard, please. I'll try again. Dear Zelda.
Yes, Dobie?
So far, I don't like it.
Dear Zelda, please believe me when I tell you that I wish you all possible happiness, namely a husband. And please be quick about it. Please try to understand, Zelda, old friend, that taking this trip is the wisest thing for both of us. So, goodbye forever. Your pal, Dobie. Here's where we are. Latitude 20 degrees north, longitude 66 degrees west. And here I am, with an uninformed latitude and a blissfully ignorant longitude. And I was all set to be torpedoed.
Captain Lopez, I'm so happy to find you in.
Ah, señorita, it is always a pleasure to see you.
I've changed my mind. Bring on your Englishman.
Ha-ha!
And your Italian.
Oh?
And I'll be on the foredeck before you in 20 minutes with the properly fascinating wardrobe.
Señorita, I shall arrange everything. And remember, if romance should blossom...
I know.
Lopez is available.
And he's been living in that lifeboat all this time? That's amazing.
With Maynard.
That's unbelievable.
Hurry up, please, Jane. That English fellow's meeting me up on deck.
Just a minute. This dress of mine fits a little tight on you.
The tighter, the better. I want to make sure Dobie hears some sweet talk that'll really wake him up. So then the elephant said, in my trunk, doesn't everyone?
Very funny, very.
Oh, I have many, many more juicy tidbits like that for you, Derek, my dear. Have you heard the one about the red-hot coal?
Can't say that I have.
You wouldn't grasp it. Derek, don't you think that's an amusing joke? Red-hot
Wake
coal?
up. I must be
Grasp
having
it?
a nightmare. This time of day must be a morning there.
You know it's funny.
Thought I
Oh,
heard
and I have
Zelda.
lots more like that for
You're
you.
right,
Here,
that's
let
a
me try
nightmare.
this one.
What say we nip inside for a spot of tea, eh, what, Miss Gilroy?
Oh, Derek, darling, please call me Zelda.
Oh, very well. Zelda?
Oh, Derek, dumpling, you say the sweetest things.
Now, look here, old girl, all I said...
Oh, no, please, my dearest, don't say it again. You'll turn my pretty head.
Now, see here.
Ooh, who said you Englishmen are cool and reserved? Come, my tiger, let us go below and cool our smoldering passions with boiling tea.
Maynard, it's fate, it's kismet, it's destiny.
It's Zelda.
I'm doomed, doomed, doomed. Why is this happening to me?
Thing living?
So then the elephant said, that's Elefante, Gino. In my trunk, doesn't everyone?
Funny, very funny.
Oh, I have many, many more juicy pizzas like that for you, Gino Mon Amore. Have you heard the one about the red-hot coal? That's carbone.
No, Signorina, no.
You wouldn't grasp it.
Very amusing.
Oh, Gino, how romantic you are.
See?
See,
All I said is see, Signorina.
it wasn't so much what you said as the way you said it. Oh, you romantic Italian lovers.
Old Zelda's making a lot of new friends, huh?
Yeah.
That's like good, huh?
You bet. Now she won't be moping around after I'm gone.
Like true.
Wondering if I'll ever come back. Sitting there broken-hearted, whispering my name.
Like true.
In fact, I wonder if she'll remember my name.
All right. So now Dobie thinks you're attractive to other men. So he gets jealous.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful?
But not jealous enough to climb out of that lifeboat and propose.
Yeah, isn't that awful?
And he never will unless he thinks you're all set to marry one of those other fellows.
True, and they're hardly flipping for me, are they?
No offense, but hardly. Well, where do we go from here, smart apple?
In for the kill.
What do you mean?
I mean,
My dear, would you do me the honor to become my little crumpet for life?
Derek, you rascal, you shouldn't have done that.
Ah, yes, my sweet, but I couldn't resist. You are so lovely, so charming, so utterly irresistible. Again, I couldn't resist. Forgive me, Zelda. You bring out the animal in me. You must marry me at once.
But Derek, we've only just met.
What does time matter when our two hearts beat as one?
Hey, Dobe, you're in Freedomsville. She hooked a sucker.
Oh, boy.
Zelda, my adorable mutton chop. I have a castle in Wales, a townhouse in London, and a hunting lodge in Scotland. Marry me, and they are yours.
Oh, Derek, you make me feel very proud. But I cannot marry you, for I love another.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. My heart belongs to a boy named Dobie Gillis.
Dobie Gillis?
That's Dobie with a B.
Derek, he's not really very much. In fact, he's kind of a 10-thumbed idiot. But I love him, and he's what I want.
So be it, my little partridge. But I shall never forget you. Never.
Farewell, Derek.
Cheerio.
Gee, I'm getting all misty. Pass up a castle and a hunting lodge.
Yeah, don't forget the townhouse.
Yeah, and all for a fella she's not even gonna get.
Yeah, poor kid.
Gino!
Man, for a small boat, they're sure a mess of action.
My small white dove.
Oh, Gino, you're so strong. You're crushing me.
Zelda, mia cara, I worship you.
Oh, Gino!
Marry me, and you will have wealth, luxury, everything your little heart could desire.
Oh, Gino!
You will have furs, jewels, servants.
Oh, Gino!
Your boudoir will be carpeted with ermine, wall to wall.
No, Gino, no. It cannot be. My heart is already given.
Oh, no.
Oh, see. His name is Dobie Gillis.
Dobie Gillis?
That's Dobie with a B.
He'll never give me servants and jewels, Gino, or ermine wall to wall. He's just kind of sweet and dumb and helpless, and That's why he needs me, and I need him.
Maynard?
Don't talk to me, you low-down rat.
Zelda, you are a great woman with a beautiful soul. I will not be robbed of such a treasure by this Dobie Gillis person.
Oh, Gino, I want to say yes. I'm trying to say yes. Oh, Gino, if only I could say yes.
Don't say it, Zelda. Don't, Barry. Don't. Zelda, it's me.
Dobie! Maynard, what are you doing here?
That's not important now. Oh, Zelda, I've been such a fool.
Where's Gino?
You were saying, Snookums?
I heard those two fellas proposing to you, Zelda, and you're right. I'm nobody very much, but, well, if you still want me, I'm yours.
Where's Gino?
Dobie.
I mean it, Zelda. Marry me, please.
Where's Gino?
Okay, when?
Tonight, tomorrow, anytime. The second we can find someone to marry us.
Lopez is available.
Where's Gino?
Ah, the young lovers. At last, the moment I've been waiting for. My debut.
Hey, where's Gino?
Mark this spot well. No, it's not where the Titanic hit an iceberg. But what did happen here was an awful big tragedy, too.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man and this woman in the bonds of holy matrimony. What is
Dobie, are
marching?
you sure you want to go through with this?
Of course.
You can still back out.
No, I want to marry you.
Honest?
Honest. Gee, when I think of all those things you gave up for me, castles and crumpets and wall-to-wall ermine carpets.
Dobie, wilt thou take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife, to heaven to hold, and sickness and health, for better or for worse, till death do you part?
I will.
Zelda, wilt thou take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to heaven to hold, and sickness and health, for better or for worse, till death do you part?
No.
Zelda?
I knew it was too good to last. Ah, qué lástima.
Zelda? Zelda, what's wrong?
I can't do it to you, Dobie. I can't marry you this way.
But I want you to marry me. I asked you.
I tricked you into it.
No, Zelda, I heard those two rich fellas proposing to you.
No, you didn't, Dobie. You heard me by the lifeboat, imitating their voices.
Zelda, mia cara, will you be my little pizza for life?
My castle in Wales, my townhouse in London, my hunting lodge in Scotland. Marry me and they are yours.
See, Dobie? But I only did it because I wanted to marry you more than anything else in the world. And I still do.
Zelda.
But not until you want to marry me. Really want to marry me. Dobie, do you hate me?
Well,
It was a rotten trick.
true, but clever. And if a girl cares that much about a fella, well,
You mean maybe, somehow, someday there might still be a chance for this fella and this girl?
why not? There's certainly nothing wrong with this girl. It's just that this fella isn't ready yet to be a husband, but someday he will be.
This girl will wait, Dobie, till that day comes.
And when it does, remember, Lopez is available.
Maynard, stop griping. A little deck scrubbing's a small price to pay for a free round trip to South America.
You didn't tell me I'd have to work.
Work, Maynard. This way we'll arrive back home seaworthy, suntanned, and single.
Yeah, Dobe. You're the undisputed champion when it comes to dodging that holy deadlock.
Yeah, that's wedlock. But you know something, Maynard? I'm not sure I want to keep dodging it.
Like, no.
Like, yes. This is just between us, but I'm about ready to surrender without anybody playing a trick on me. I mean, a girl like Zelda comes along once in a lifetime.
Yeah, but what's best of all, good buddy, she loves you. And she always will. And she's loyal and honest and true. And how are you going to beat a combination like that?
Maynard, how come you're all of a sudden such a strong Zelda? All right, Zelda. What'd you do with me?
beach.
Please forgive me, Stephanie, my sweet. I just couldn't help it. Something happened that was one of those impossible, ridiculous, unbelievable freaks of nature.
You rang?
Oh, hi, Maynard.
Like hi, Dobe, like hi, girl, like thanks for inviting me to hack around with you tonight. You're all heart from foot to toe.
Dobie, your sudden change in plans. Do I understand we have Maynard to thank for that?
Oh, you don't have to bother thanking me. It was like a pleasure.
Yeah, I just didn't have the heart to leave him by himself. He gets lonesome.
Dobie, 3 on a date is ridiculous.
Like right, so if you want to go home, it's okay with us.
Yeah, Maynard, please.
Wait a minute, I just had a good idea. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll find a girl to be Maynard's date and... Oh, I just realized why I didn't think of it before.
Good thinking. I wouldn't be caught alive with a chick. They scare me something fierce, not to mention vice versa. Come on, Gilbert, let's go downtown and watch them knock down the old Endicott building.
Maynard.
They got the big crane with the big iron ball at the end. The guy goes,
Look, Maynard. Stephanie, I'm sorry. This whole thing was just one of those impossible, ridiculous, unbelievable freaks of nature.
You rang?
Hey, you guys know where's the old Endicott building? I hear they're knocking it down with one of them big iron balls on a chain, and I ain't gonna miss that. It goes...
Hey, you dig knocking down old buildings?
Man, it's a gas. I watch it all the time. Over near where I lived, I had this old warehouse, see?
No, it don't go like... It goes like this.
Name the most exciting day in a fella's life. The day he puts on his first pair of long pants. The day he hits his first home run. Sure, those are exciting days, but they don't come anywhere near the day he meets the only girl. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I know, it's happened to me many times. And now it looked like it was finally happening to Maynard. He would soon be hearing for the first time the sweet, tender, womanly words that every man longs to hear.
What else I like to do is climb over the fence of the stockyards and watch them dip sheep. Brother, that's living.
Ooh, yeah, I can watch them do that 8, 9, 10 days a week. And sometimes I do.
You know what else I like to do?
No, clue me.
Go over to the railroad station and stand around when the coal cars is getting loaded up. That's the maddest.
Oh, yeah, genuine Joysville.
Dobie, what are they talking about?
I can't understand a word. It must be love.
What else I like to do is watch them run cars up a grease rack. Push one little button and up she goes.
Oh, yeah, crazy. I could watch them do that 10, 12 days a week.
Me too. Only they don't like girls hanging around garages.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
I'm like a girl.
Oh, yeah, you are kind of like a girl. But not much.
Hey, you mad because I'm a girl?
Nah, 'cause you ain't really a girl. I mean, anybody who digs dipping sheep and knocking down old buildings, that ain't like a girl. That's like a real human being.
Attaboy, excuse me, old bean. My name's Eddie Cagle. Pleased to meet you, your beardship.
Likewise. My name is Maynard G. Krebs. Your friendship.
What's the G stand for?
Walter.
Good name.
I was little named after my aunt.
I used to be Edwina. That's what my folks named me. But I sure changed that in a hurry. I mean, like, who needs that noise?
Hey, we better cut out quick. We're going to miss knocking down the old Endicott building. The way that old ball's been swinging all day, there's going to be hardly any building left to knock down.
Hey, Maynard, I've got a great idea. Let's make this a double date.
Who's this type?
I'm Maynard's best friend, Dobie Gillis, and this is Stephanie Trowbridge.
Hi there.
Hi. Come on, Maynard, let's cut out.
Hey,
Dobie, that was a wonderful suggestion. Why don't the 4 of us all go dancing at the Peabody Roof?
Yeah.
Dancing? Me?
Her?
Oh, come now.
Stephanie, I'm worried.
Why, Dobie? You always said you wanted Maynard to find a soulmate.
True, but somehow I kind of hoped it'd be a girl.
Okay, son, what's the problem?
Well, Dad, Maynard's known this girl for nearly a week now, and all they ever do is stand around watching sheep dips and sewer excavations and like that.
What's wrong with that? You should do more of it. It's nice, healthful outdoor entertainment. It don't cost nothing. It keeps you off the streets. And are you saying what I think you're saying?
I'm afraid so, Dad.
No holding hands in the movies, no moonlight strolls in the park, no romantic soirees?
Not a soir. It pains me to say this, but I honestly believe Maynard thinks of this girl as sort of a short, ponytailed boy.
No, my son, and to think I ball you out just because you're a couple of years overdrawn on your allowance, forgive me, boy.
Sure, Dad, sure. Then you will talk to Maynard, please?
Well, It's a sin. Somebody's got to talk to him, but why me? Why not his own father?
No, that doesn't work. Every time he has to talk to Maynard face to face, he starts to cry. Have you ever seen a grown man cry? It's spooky.
Where were we?
You were going to talk to Maynard.
Oh, yes. Well, if you want me to talk to him, I will. After all, the boy is basically okay. There's nothing wrong with him that can't be fixed. By a blast of dynamite?
Hey, Dope, guess what? Me and Eddie gonna help load them coal cars.
Eddie?
Dad, it's short for Edwina.
Ooh, that Eddie is a...
Man, we sure have been having kicks together. I mean, skipping stones along the river and shimmying up trees and climbing over fences.
Son, is it too late for me to chicken out?
Dad, if you walk out now, Maynard's whole life might go right down the drain.
You present a powerful temptation.
Dad, you've got to help Maynard.
You, Maynard? Yes, you, Maynard. Maynard, you and me are going to have a little talk, see? And maybe we can learn something, huh?
Sure, what do you want to learn?
Maynard.
President accounted for.
Now listen, I want to talk to you like your father.
Okay, you better start crying.
Maynard.
He always cries when he talks to me.
Maynard, Maynard, I want you to tell me how you feel about this Eddie. Really feel about her.
Best handball player I ever met.
Son, I just happen to remember a very
Dad,
important
you
hearing.
promised.
Okay. Maynard, there are two sexes, remember? Boys and girls.
Yeah, there's probably a place for Eddie in there somewhere.
Now, you remember your Bible story about Noah's Ark?
Oh, yeah, I like Noah. He was a fine, great man, helping all them poor animals.
Right. And how did he help them? By putting them in the ark 2 by 2 in pairs.
Like true.
Like true. And the reason we have all these little animals running around today is because Noah put their ancestors in the ark in pairs. Get it? In pairs.
Except the worms. They got on in apples.
Son, wouldn't it be easier just to turn them loose in some pool room?
Maynard, concentrate.
Boy, you're up. I just struck out.
Look, Dad's trying to help you. We all are.
I know, good buddy, and I appreciate it. Mr. G, you're like a real human being. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, thanks, Maynard. Thanks a lump.
You want me to meet a chick and settle down? Well, I ain't ready yet. It's tough to get married without you find a chick who'll marry you. And I dig chicks absolutely zero or even less.
But why, Maynard? Girls aren't so bad.
Oh, yes, they are, good buddy. Girls are bad because they won't let you be you. You're all the time worrying. Does she like me? Is my hair combed? I mean, am I saying the wrong thing? Is my sneakers polished?
Sure, Maynard. That's how it's supposed to be with a boy and a girl. It's exciting. It's a challenge.
It's a drag. You see, Dobe, with me and Eddie, everything's different. I mean, Eddie's a girl, I think, but with her, I don't have to be scared. She's going to get mad at me if I say or do something wrong she doesn't like, because she never does. I mean, when I'm with Eddie, I can just be me, Maynard G. Krebs. I know that ain't the greatest thing in the world to be in. I suppose a lot of people hate being it. But that's what I'm stuck with for the rest of my life, so I figure I might as well be happy with what I got.
Son, I'm scared.
Dad, you don't understand him.
Oh, I understand him. Good. And that's why I'm scared. He might be right.
Look, Maynard, there's a lot in life for a fella and a girl besides watching coal cars and grease racks and climbing fences.
I know that.
Good.
You left out knocking down the old Endicott building, dipping sheep, and
Maynard,
fishing with
that's
a rope
not
and a
what
pig?
I meant at all. I mean ordinary things fellas and girls your age usually do.
Like what?
Like, here's 2 tickets to the sophomore spring dance Friday night, all paid for. I want you to be there.
Ah, Dobe.
Look, Maynard, I'm doing this for your own good. I'm your friend, your best friend. I don't want to see you going through life with everybody making fun of you because you're an oddball, an eccentric. Sure, it's great to be independent and do as you please, but you're going to be terribly hurt and unhappy if you don't make up your mind that once in a while, even if only in little things, you have to conform.
I was conformed when I was 14 years old. Ain't that enough?
Maynard, that's confirmed. And if you don't take these tickets and make a real effort to get to that dance, then I will assume that you place no value on my advice as a friend.
Oh, no, Dobe, you are my friend, my truest, bluest friend. I would stick my arm into the fire pit here for you. I'd jump off the tallest building for you over swimming across Milford Pond for you.
I know all that, Maynard. Just take the tickets.
Okay, Dobe. But at a dance, ain't you supposed to bring a girl?
Right.
Then I can't go because I don't know any girls.
But what about Eddie?
No, I don't think she knows any girls either.
Maynard, Eddie is a girl. You could take her to the dance.
Oh, yeah, good buddy. I mean, you sure got it up there. I'm so glad the Russians ain't got your brain.
For the next few days, I didn't see much of Maynard. He and Eddie were caught up in a mad, gay, social world.
Catching fish with a sour pickle. Oh, boy.
Sure, who needs all that fancy bait and hooks and poles as long as you got a bent pin and a pickle and results?
Hey, if we catch any more fish, let's eat it tomorrow, huh? Tonight I gotta have dinner with my family. They're bugging me on account of I'm away all the time.
Your family? Oh, yeah, them cats that try to stick you with that crummy name.
You think that was bad? My my sister. They named, you ready for this? Clarissa.
Oh, man, that is the lowest.
Clarissa. She likes it.
Like, no.
Well, she's the type.
A girl, huh?
The girliest. What I mean, she works at it. Lipstick, perfume, the works.
Sick, huh?
She don't think so. Neither do my folks. They keep trying to get me to act the same way.
Ooh, they're sick.
My father's all the time telling me, Edwina, you're not as pretty as your sister, but if you got all gussied up, you'd maybe look like okay.
You ain't gonna do it, are you?
Are you kidding? Why would I want to look like her? I couldn't do it anyhow. She's good looking, I guess, if you like the type. But why would I even want to try?
Like, right. Eddie, your ace is in my book.
I'll cut out and meet you as soon as dinner's over. What do you want to do later on?
Oh, get this. There's 3 cattle boats coming right down this river from Cleveland. And they're gonna raise the drawbridge to let them through.
Florioski, I never saw him raise a drawbridge.
Kid, you got a big night ahead of you.
I can hardly wait. What are we going to do until 11?
Well, I figured we'd go downtown and watch them put up the tent poles for the circus.
Hey, yeah, circus.
Yeah, but the tracks got washed out and we'll be here till tomorrow.
The car wash ain't open at night.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. Things are kind of slow in town. Hey, maybe we can go to the sophomore spring dance. Dobe gave me these tickets.
Boy, wouldn't that be the wildest? Jokers in ties and dresses flapping around like a gang of penguins. Brother, I'd laugh myself into a stomachache just looking at them.
Yeah, me too. Hey, let's do it. Let's cycle over there and get us a bunch of free yaks.
Like, wow, it'll be just like looking at the animals in the zoo.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, no offense, miss, but we haven't been properly introduced. Eddie, it's you.
What did you expect, Gina Lola Brigida? Now, come on.
Hey, Eddie, you sure do look different.
Oh, my dumb sister made me put on one of her dresses, and my mom got to messing around with my hair. Brother, you never saw such carrying on and excitement in a house in your life as when they heard I was going out with a boy.
They must have spilled something on you, too.
Perfume, I think they call it. Rugged, huh?
I ain't smelled nothing like that since my Uncle Ned's mule kicked over the paint cans in the tool shed.
Hey, let's get a move on. If we show up early, maybe we'll get lucky and see somebody fall in the punch bowl.
Yeah, ooh, yeah.
Ah, Stephanie, my twinkle-toed butterfly, you dance like a dream.
So do you, Dobie.
Truly?
Truly.
Oh, you don't mean that, do you?
No.
My little minx. A sense of humor.
So this is a dance. I always wondered what they were like. Big chunk of nothing, huh?
Like Dragsville, yeah.
Hey, Maynard, dig the hairdo on that chick. Looks like somebody scrambled an egg on her head and forgot to take out the feathers.
Yeah, I ain't never seen so many dressed-up cats in one place except in Callahan's funeral parlor.
Hi, Maynard, Eddie. I'm sure glad you decided to show up.
Eddie, you look beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
can the chatter. Where's the food?
Yes, we are interested in partaking in a bit of ye olde refreshment. How about that for highfalutin talk, huh?
Maynard, you are a doozer.
You two wait here. We'll go bring you some food.
On the double, huh? I don't know how long I can put up with these oblongs. Just look at them.
My dear, you are lovely in your beautiful new Paris gown. A pity you don't have a face to match.
And you are so handsome, my sweet, in your wash and wear a tuxedo. Man, this is nowhere.
The lowest.
Good evening. My name is Walter Funk. May I have the honor of this dance?
Okay, Walter.
You, Maynard?
Her? Her who?
I think he means her you.
Correct. Yes? May I have the honor of this dance?
Hey, Maynard, yell quick for the men in the white coats. This creep has slipped his trolley. Get lost, Casper.
Gladly. Boy, what a couple of kooks.
Oh, I think we hurt Walter's feelings. Hey, Walter, we didn't mean no offense, honest.
Okay, let go.
And if it make you feel better, I'll dance with you, Walter. Eddie, we shouldn't have made him feel so miserable. You better dance with him to prove we're sorry.
Dance with him? Oh, come on.
If you don't, he's liable to cry, and you don't want to see him fog up his glasses, do you?
No, but dance? Oh, come on.
Look, I don't want to dance either. Now, let go.
Look, Walter, it don't pay to be bashful. Now, go ahead. Eddie's a great American, one heck of a swell sport.
Oh, Maynard, I don't even know what to do.
The floor's crowded. Just lean.
Okay, if I have to. Not exactly my idea of heaven, but que sera, sera.
Oh, Maynard, here you are. Where's Eddie?
Oh, she's out there dancing with a fellow named Walter Funk.
What? Oh, that's impossible.
No, it ain't. There's probably a lot of fellas named Walter Funk.
Yeah, there she is, dancing.
You can call it dancing. Ouch. Poor Walter Funk.
Oh, she kicked him in the shins, huh? Eddie's the best shin kicker on the whole block.
Oh, so sorry, old crumpet.
You did that on purpose.
You're the one that wanted to dance, Waldo.
Hey, what's that perfume you're wearing? It's nice.
Just some gook my sister slopped over me when I... You like it?
Yeah, it's different. Sort of fits your personality.
What kind of a dirty crack is that?
It's fresh and peppery.
Look, watch that
A lot of
talk,
bounce and
Sidney,
high
before I...
spirits.
Fresh? Peppery?
Sure.
High spirits,
Sure,
me?
you're a fiery little tomato full of storm and passion.
Storm, me? Passion,
Look,
me?
I know you're kind. Hard-shelled and tough on the outside, maybe. But inside, all woman.
Walter,
Yes, my tiger?
that dance they're all doing, would you teach it to me?
Would I?
Thank you, Walter.
Now, first of all, you... Hey, I don't even know your name.
It's Edwina. You may call me Edwina.
Edwina. Oh, that's a beautiful name. Just beautiful and perfect for you.
Yes, I've always been rather fond of it myself. Tiger, eh?
Hello, may I cut in?
Now, just a minute, Jerry.
Thanks, Walter. I knew you'd be glad to cooperate. Hello, baby. Where have you been all my life?
Me?
Did anyone ever tell you that you're a...
Fascinating me? Fire and ice me?
You bet, doll. I've had my eye on you ever since you walked in that door.
Oh, Jerry, you say the cutest things.
Mind if I cut in?
Now, wait a minute,
Thanks,
Walter.
Al, I knew you'd be glad to cooperate. Three's a crowd, you know.
Primitive bundle of ferocious, hot-blooded animals.
And
me?
then some. Edwina, my angel, you are woman.
Oh, Walter, you say the cutest things.
Mind if I cut in?
Now, hold it, friend, hold it. I saw her first.
What's that got to do with it? The Indians saw Plymouth Rock first.
You're looking for trouble.
Oh, now, boys, please don't fight over poor little me. Why don't we all take turns,
Well,
no.
It's the only way. Now, I insist. Or else I'll find some other boys to dance with.
Okay, we'll take turns.
Great, that's the way.
I knew you'd see it my way. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Jerry, you're first.
And would you believe it? For the rest of the evening, the poodle kept looking around for somebody named Malcolm. Excuse me a minute.
Eddie, it's like late.
Oh, Maynard, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to keep you waiting.
Yeah, we gotta cut out quick. We're gonna miss seeing that drawbridge going up.
Drawbridge?
Yeah, you know them cattle boats coming in from Cleveland.
Yes.
Like quick.
Maynard, I don't want to watch them raise the drawbridge.
Not watch them raise the drawbridge? No cattle boats from Cleveland? Eddie, you ain't well. I mean, you need help.
Look, Maynard, the kids are all going over to the Peabody roof. They've got a great mambo band, and I said that we go with them.
Us at the Peabody roof? Oh, no, capital N-O-E.
Now,
Negative.
don't worry about the money. It's Clara Runk's birthday, and her father's treating everybody. You'll have a wonderful time. Now, wait here. I'll tell the kids you're coming with us. see Maynard?
No, I left him right here. I thought you were with him.
Well, I was. I mean...
Do you know where he went?
I have a pretty good idea. Oh, my poor Maynard.
Hey, you down there in the cattle boats. Like, hi. Hello there, Mr. Cow. Hello there, Mrs. Cow. Hey, you came all the way from Cleveland, huh? Well, we're going to show you like a real friendly welcome by raising up the drawbridge. We're like real hospital people here. Like, hi, Mrs. Cow. Like, hi. Like, hi.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just waiting for him to raise up the drawbridge. You want to stay and watch?
No, thanks, but I hope you have fun.
Like, thanks. What are you doing?
I'm on my way to the Peabody roof. You want to come along?
No, thanks, but I hope you have fun.
Thanks. Maynard, you real mad at me?
Nah.
You sure?
Sure, I'm sure. Well, not real mad, just middling mad. You can't help it if you're a double-crosser.
No, Maynard, I didn't double-cross you.
Sure you did. You turned out to be a girl.
I was always a girl.
No, you wasn't. Girls don't dig dipping sheep in circus tents and the old Endicott building.
I mean, inside of me, I was always a girl. Till tonight, I guess I was trying to keep it from myself, too.
Yeah, and then you went and spoiled everything.
I found out I like having boys say nice things to me, just like all the other girls. I found out you can shimmy up trees and play handball with the longshoremen for just so long. And then you'd better stop being just a person and start being a girl. It happens to all of us, Maynard. It'll happen to you, too.
I'll start being a girl?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. I'll become a dude, and I'll start wearing fancy clothes and saying nice things to chicks, even if I don't mean them. And I'll miss dipping sheep in the old Endicott building. Maybe some chick won't like it. Oh, no, not me. I'm staying me, Maynard G. Krebs.
And you should. Maynard G. Krebs is a fine, worthwhile person. But someday he'll be Maynard G. Krebs the man. It'll happen. You'll see.
Not without a fight, it won't.
I better go now. You sure you don't want to come along? The kids will all be glad to see you.
The Peabody roof, me? Like, huh?
Thanks, Maynard. Thanks for everything. Every minute I've known you is a minute I'll always remember.
Like, huh?
Bye, Maynard.
Bye, Edwina.
Maynard, are you all right? Maynard, what's wrong?
Oh, that chick Eddie, she did an awful thing to me.
Look, Maynard, that's an experience we all have to go through. During your life, a lot of girls will walk out on you and disappoint you and give you a rough time. That's just the way it is.
That isn't the awful thing she did to me.
Oh? What did she do?
She kissed me. Yeah, right here. Oh, Dobe, you were right. Them chicks are all like, you gotta watch them like a hawk.
Yeah, sure, Maynard, sure.
Hey, look, Dobe. Oh, the bridge is on its way up. Oh, man. Yep, it's right on time, Dobe. Oh, isn't that the most beautiful sight you ever seen in your whole life? Ooh, like, wow. Hey, look, Dobe. There go them cattle boats, look. Goodbye, Mr. Cow. Goodbye, Mrs. Cow. Goodbye, baby cow.
Maynard.
How do I look, Dobe? Spiffy, huh?
Maynard, you're beautiful. There's something different about you.
Like true. It's this hand-painted tie. The salesman says it'll go with anything I eat.
Yeah, that must be. Maynard, I know where you're going.
Yeah, to see Eddie.
Yeah, Maynard, listen.
Dobe, I was thinking about what you were telling me about, going out to fancy places and dancing like that.
Uh-huh.
So I bought this box of candy, and I picked this whole bunch of flowers, and me and Eddie are going to be like Romeo and Julius.
Yeah, Maynard, look, pay attention. I don't quite know how to tell you this, but Eddie's going steady with Walter Funk.
See, that's nice. Dobe, it's about time I started hacking around. Going steady with Walter Funk?
I'm sorry I had to be the one to tell you, Maynard, but don't let it get you down. In time, you'll get over it.
Going steady with Walter Funk?
Try to look on the brighter side.
Going steady with Walter Funk?
Try not to be bitter. Remember, every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah, that's true, Dome. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, if Eddie's going steady with Walter Funk, then I got this whole box of candy.
Yeah.
Why, you don't expect these poor boys to walk for 15 consecutive minutes on those wobbly little legs of theirs, do you?
Who's picking you up, dear?
A princess, a queen, a vision of loveliness.
A chick.
Hi, Dobie. Hi, Maynard. Have you got it?
Oh, hi, Daphne, my heart. It's right here. Voila.
Dobie, this is marvelous. Early trends in Peruvian architecture. How cute.
Mom, Dad, this is Daphne Winsett, the future Mrs. Dobie Gillis, if everything goes according to plan.
How you do?
Just a moment. Did you say you're getting married? Mrs. Gillis, Mr. Gillis, you have a very cute boy, even though his imagination has a tendency to run away with him.
But there's nothing serious between you and Dobie.
What a ridiculous idea.
You think my boy Dobie's ridiculous?
Oh, no, I think Dobie's darling.
But there's nothing serious between you.
How could there be? Dobie's a dreamer. All he cares about is culture and art and poetry. Me, on the other hand, what I like is business and commerce and finance.
And loot. Well, if there is such a vast difference between you and Dobie, how come you're all the time hanging around?
Well, he's nice looking.
Yeah.
And he's a good dancer.
Yeah.
And he has a nice sense of humor.
Yeah.
And he does your homework?
And he does my homework.
Like Daphne Winsett said, I'm a man who's interested in truth and beauty. But what Daphne wants is a man who's interested in business and finance. So I, Dobie Gillis, poet and dreamer, am going to turn into Dobie Gillis, financier and tycoon. And right now.
You, Mr. Gillis, are taking economics?
You, Mr. Pomfret, are teaching economics?
I asked you first. What is an unlikely type like you doing in an economics class? And oh, what a foolish question. Who is she?
Her name's Daphne Winsett.
Well, that accounts for you, Mr. Gillis. What about you, Mr. Krebs? What are you doing here?
I'm with Dobe.
That's your only reason.
Right. Oh, and a word of warning to you, sir.
What's that?
If you try to throw me out, I cry.
Stay, Mr. Krebs. By all means, stay.
Okay, Mr. Pomfret, it's your turn. What are you doing in economics?
Yeah, Mr. Pomfret. I mean, you teach history and poetry and biology and all that jazz. What do you know about economics?
Very little, as I am about to demonstrate. However, the dean told me this morning to teach economics, and one does not argue with the dean.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be very good at it.
I'm not.
Nor am I. However, let us be of good heart. Please take your seats. And together we will venture into the unexplored jungle of money and banking.
Oh, you've got to be kidding.
You want a tycoon? I'll be a tycoon.
Oh, Dobie, don't be silly. Why don't you stick to art and poetry and leave the finance to the financiers?
Good thinking.
Maynard, you're supposed to be on my side.
I've been assigned to take over this class in economics from Professor Randolph, who had the good sense to reach retirement age last Friday. Now, my teaching economics may turn out to be one of the major errors in the history of higher education. I will gladly accept applications for transfer at the end of the hour. Meanwhile, let us take up the subject of marketing. Can anyone here give me a nice, brief definition of the word You, Mr. Krebs, on your first day?
Yeah, Mr. G does it. That's Dobe's father, Mr. G. What he does, he goes down to the market with them farmer cats and he sneers and says, I wouldn't feed them carrots to a condemned horse.
No.
Then he walks away and shakes his head and gets some carrots down about 7 cents a bunch.
Maynard.
And takes them back to the grocery and marks them up to 49 cents a
Maynard,
bunch.
cease and desist.
Then my mother comes in and looks at him and says and yells, 49 cents a bunch for them carrots? What are they, like dipped in platinum? I wouldn't.
Enough. Now, I think you've got the general idea, Maynard, but we're dealing here with a broader conception of the term marketing. Now, can anyone else give...
Excuse me, Professor Pomfret, but this is pretty elementary stuff. Professor Randolph had us all the way to page 97.
I see. Puts you roughly 96 pages ahead of me. What is your assignment for today?
Commodity futures.
What futures?
Oh, like eggs, wheat, butter, cotton. See, today's quotations from the Chicago Commodity Exchange are on the board. We each invested $5,000, hypothetically, of course. The idea is to buy when the commodity is low and sell when it's high.
Well, then I take it everyone in class has picked a commodity.
That's right.
Oh, well, then why don't we have a progress report? We'll start with you, Miss Winsett.
Well, I'm speculating in egg futures. I bought 15,000 dozen fresh shell eggs Monday at 29 cents, and they're up 2 cents, which gives me a $300 profit so far.
Congratulations. Now, Mr.
Professor Pomfret.
Yes?
You're supposed to ask whether I'm selling or staying with my purchase.
All right. Are you selling or staying with your purchase?
I'm staying because eggs are in short supply and they should keep rising in price.
Fine. And now, Mr.
Professor Pomfret.
Yes?
Professor Randolph always grades us on our decisions and explains whether they're good or bad.
That's what Professor Randolph always does, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to dismiss the class and go do some homework. Maybe in a couple of months I'll catch up with the rest of you. Class dismissed.
Yo, hello, Dean.
Wow, that's an auspicious start. Your class lasted exactly 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, that was 10 minutes too long, considering the preparation I had.
Pomfret, I like you. You're an intelligent, scholarly man, and that's good.
Well, thank you, sir.
But that's not enough today. Classwork is fine in its way, but don't take it so seriously. You should get around more, meet people, make contacts, give talks, operate, wheel and deal. Put S. Peter Pryor Junior College on the map.
Well, I was kind of under the impression that you'd hired me to teach.
So I did, Pomfret, so I did. But there's much more to it than that. Do you know there are millions of dollars kicking around for research grants, government contracts, new laboratories, new buildings?
Well, I suppose there are, but what's that got to do with me?
Why, everything, man. The colleges that get all that loot are the colleges where the teachers make a splash.
I'm afraid I'm not the splashy type.
Yes, I'm afraid you're right.
I have only one serious failing as a teacher. All I can do is teach.
Well, I guess every college gets stuck with a few like you.
Those are the breaks.
Carry on, Pomfret.
Oh, and thanks for the words of inspiration and guidance, sir.
Anytime, son. Anytime.
Dobie, who are you kidding? You'll never learn economics.
Daphne, yes, I will.
No, he won't.
Take today's class in marketing, for instance. Did you understand one word of it?
Why, sure.
All right. What were they talking about?
Commodity.
He's got you there, girl.
And what are commodities?
Well, well, everybody knows what commodities are.
I don't.
And neither does Dobie.
Well, I'll learn.
Learning isn't enough. Any fool can understand about eggs and butter and soybeans and stuff like that. But to know when to buy and when to sell, it's got to be in your blood. And you, dear Dobie, have the blood of a poet.
No, Daphne, I'll learn how to buy and sell, too.
What's the use, Dobie? Even if you do learn, which you won't, where are you going to get the loot? You see where those kids were tossing money around that class? Man, they must be all like loaded.
Maynard, that money was just on paper.
Who cares where you keep it? On paper, in your shoes? You could even line your undies with it. No offense.
Maynard, that was hypothetical money. It's not for real.
You mean it's like pretend money?
That's right. And pretend money is the only kind of money you and your dreamy friend here are ever going to have. So, Dobie, let's not try to be what we're not. Forget about economics and just go on being the sweet, penniless, dreamy schnook you've always been. Goodbye, Dobie, dear.
I'll show her. Someday I'll prove to her that I'm hard and keen and practical and shrewd.
You? Oh, come
I'll
now.
study economics real hard. I'll buy and sell those commodities so well that at the end of the semester I'll have more hypothetical money than any kid in the whole class.
You? Oh, come
And it's
now.
all very simple. I'll just buy whatever Daphne buys.
Hey, good thinking. Too bad you have to do it with pretend money instead of using like real money. Because then you really have real money and you wouldn't have to pretend it was real.
Maynard, you've just given me an idea.
Me? Oh, come now.
Hey, listen carefully. I'll buy whatever Daphne buys. Only when I buy, it won't be hypothetical. I'll put down hard cash.
Brilliant, though.
And I'll get rich. Really rich. Not just on paper. And Daphne will be mine.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Thank you, Maynard.
Only one thing wrong.
What?
This hard cash to invest, where are you going to get it?
Maynard had put his finger right on the problem. Where was I going to get some good hard cash to invest? Well, the answer wasn't too tough. I'd make a little loan, say $500. Who'd lend me $500? Well, naturally, the first person I thought of was
Me? $500?
Dobie, dear, your father's right. We're really not in a position to lend you $500. However, I admire your ambition, and I'm prepared to help you in every way that I can.
What are you going to do? Give him a side of beef? Wait, your coat? Why, that coat cost us 2 whole summer vacations.
Hush, this thing needs cleaning, and the lining is ripped.
Mom, you're all heart.
So if you take this in for cleaning and sewing, I'll give you $1. There. Isn't that a good start?
Thanks a lot. Okay, call me weak.
You're weak.
Okay, call me sneaky.
You're sneaky.
That was a rotten, shameful thing I did, hocking my mom's fur coat. But what could I do? I had to have Daphne Winsett. I had to. So I put my plan into operation immediately. I went to see a broker. Naturally, I didn't want him to think I was just a green kid, so I kind of spruced up a little for the occasion. The name's Gillis, son. I expect you heard of me.
I'm not sure that I
Well,
have.
possibly not. I try to keep my operations as quiet as possible. You do understand, huh?
Of course, Mr. Gillis. Won't you sit down?
Oh, thank you, son. Thank you.
Can I order you some coffee, sir?
If you don't mind, son, I prefer a glass of no thanks, son.
Now then, what can I do for you, sir?
I've heard some good things about your firm, Mitt Gang. Mighty good things.
Thank you, sir.
So I thought I'd take a little flyer with you in a small way, of course.
Well, I'm sure you'll be satisfied with our service, Mr. Gillis. Now, precisely, what are you interested in?
Yeah, commodity futures, son. Be precise, eggs. Hen eggs.
Uh-huh. I happen to agree with you, sir. Eggs are a very smart buy right now.
Well, I didn't get where I got by being stupid, Mitt Gang?
Of course, sir. Let me buzz my associates.
No. Don't tell anybody else. I mean, let's do this as quietly as we can. I mean, if the word gets out that Gillis is buying...
Say no more.
Yeah.
All right, sir. What do you say to something in the neighborhood of $10,000 or $12,000 a day?
Yeah, well, have you got any other neighborhoods?
500.
Well, I'm spread a bit thin for that. What's the smallest buy?
Let me see. 15,000 dozen eggs, that's $5,000, which makes the margin $500.
That's roughly what I was thinking of. Now, let's run over the profit picture again. When the eggs go up like that, 2 cents.
Mr. Funk's lard is up 2 cents. That makes $200, and he's staying with it. Very good. Now, Miss Winsett?
My eggs have gone up 3.5 cents. That's another $525. I'm staying with them because the broker's column in the Journal says that jet aircraft over the northern poultry farms are unsettling the hens, and eggs are continuing in short supply.
Excellent. You have a brilliant future as a broker, Miss Winsett. How about you, Mr. Gillis?
I'm with Daphne. I bought eggs, too.
Well, that's more intelligent than I could have expected. And you, Mr. Krebs?
Could I borrow another 10,000 or so?
I take it Caribbean copra is still falling.
Yeah, but I'm going to take a flyer in Tunisian tinfoil. I figure with the TV dinner season coming up, I'm going to clean up, because...
We'll take up your case tomorrow, Mr. Krebs. Class dismissed.
Daphne, has anyone ever told you that you're beautiful and adorable and smart and desirable and keen and yummy and shrewd and wonderful?
Of course.
And you're the greatest egg expert in the country.
Is that all it takes to impress you? A simple little marketing problem?
To you, it's a simple little marketing problem. To me, it's the key to paradise. And to my mother...
Your mother?
With her coat and your brains, the sky's the limit. Mitt Gang, this is Get Rich Quick Gillis. I couldn't get over to the ticker today. What's the picture? $925, huh? Not bad at all. Hello, Mitt Gang. How'd my eggs do today? $1,255, huh? No. I've got my experts watching it, and I'm staying in. Hello, Mitt Gang. Gillis here. How's everything at the Omelet Foundry today? Up another cent? What?
Sell now.
Sell? Don't be ridiculous, my good man.
But, Mr. Gillis, I wish you'd take my
Mitt
suggestion
Gang.
before it's too late. The market is at a complete standstill.
Mitt Gang, please, I must remind you that they're my eggs and I'll sell them when I'm ready. Poor man, apparently the big money panics him.
Dobie Gillis?
Yes, Mom?
Aren't you forgetting part of our bargain?
What bargain?
I gave you $1 to take my coat to the cleaners days ago.
Oh, yeah.
Well, dear, that $1 was for a round trip. You're supposed to pick it up, too, you know.
Oh, sure. Well, it may be a few days yet, Mom.
A few days?
And I may have a little surprise for you. How'd you like a nice big sealskin muff to go with it?
Dobie, be serious. That coat is the best thing I own.
Maybe we'll get you a mink or a sable. Then you can wear the sealskin for every day.
Just exactly what are you up to?
Mom, they laughed at the old easygoing impractical Dobie. Now there's been some changes made. Trust me for a couple of more days, and I'll have a wonderful surprise for you. Bye, Mom.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, I'll probably get the hang of this commodity business by the end of the semester. Meanwhile, I must say that you all impress me with your savvy in marketing. There's only one student in the class who's lost money in commodities.
It's only $3, and my luck's bound to change.
No, Mr. Krebs, that decimal point is way over on the right. It's $300,000. Well, let's finish up now. Your report, please, Miss Winsett.
Eggs went up another 2 cents yesterday. My total profit was $1,150, and of course I sold.
Splendid. That kind of money gets an A+ in my book. Mr. Gillis, I suppose you followed our fair wizard's lead?
Not on your life. Eggs are still going up, and I'm not selling. I'm waiting until they slow down.
I see.
Just a minute, Dobie. Professor Pomfret, you had to sell yesterday.
Who had to sell?
Anybody who doesn't want to take delivery on the eggs, that's who.
What do you mean?
Because yesterday was Spot Day, genius. The 15th is closing day in the Chicago egg market.
Spot Day? What does that mean?
Yes, Daphne, what does that mean?
It means if you don't sell on Spot Day, you actually have to accept delivery on the commodity.
You mean if, for instance, somebody bought 15,000 dozen eggs and didn't sell them yesterday, they'd actually deliver 15,000 dozen eggs to him?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Tell me something, Dobie. Do you often turn a bright, vivid green?
That's right, Mr. Gillis. You now own 15,000 dozen fresh shell eggs.
I thought that's what you said.
You're certainly a cool one, Mr. Gillis. I realized yesterday when you wouldn't let me sell out, you had plans for those eggs.
Oh, yeah, us Gillises are big eaters.
Well, to the matter at hand, your freight carload of eggs will be arriving at the Grove Street siding in a couple of days. Just let me know about your warehouse facilities, the fleets of trucks, and so on, and your check for the $4,500 will be due when the eggs arrive.
Yeah.
So congratulations, and I hope to be seeing more of you.
Thank you, Mr. Midgang. Thank you very much. You and Mrs. Midgang will have to drop over to the house sometime for eggnog.
You pawned my fur coat?
And you spent the money to buy eggs with?
I know I shouldn't have, but I saw a chance to make a nice profit. And it wasn't just for me, it was for all of us.
You did a wrong thing, Dobie, but I can't find it in my heart to be too hard on you.
Well, me neither, son. I guess you just got merchandising in your blood, just like your old man. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you get rid of them eggs. How many you got?
15,000 dozen.
15,000 dozen, huh? Well, I'll just set up a little display here, see? And maybe I'll take and add in the...
Dad, I know it seems like a lot.
Seems like a lot, boy. You are underplaying. There ain't that many working hens in the whole United States of America, including Minneapolis and St. Paul. That's more dozen eggs than there are people in this whole town.
I don't need my coat. I can just spend the rest of my life in the store.
Dad, I hate to ask at a time like this, but when the eggs arrive, I'll need another $4,500.
$4,500?
Just until I sell the eggs, of course.
Don't depend on spending the rest of your life in the store. I'm going to have to sell it to pay for that guy's eggs.
All right, call me a rat.
You rat?
Call me a skunk.
You skunk?
Never mind. But that's what I am. A rat and a skunk. A rat and a skunk with 15,000 dozen eggs. Where was I going to get rid of them? Where?
Your trouble's over, good buddy.
Maynard, you sold the eggs.
Every last one of them.
Maynard, I could kiss you.
Well, just a little one on the cheek.
Yeah, never mind. Maynard, where'd you sell the eggs?
Well, I was reading in the newspaper where the Girl Scouts are going to have a national jamboree. So I went to see the head Girl Scout lady. And I said, "Head Girl Scout lady, what's a jamboree without hard-boiled eggs?" And she said, "Mr. Krebs." That's what she called me, Mr. Krebs. How about that, Dobe? They don't even call my father Mr. Krebs.
Maynard, what'd she say?
Who?
The head Girl Scout lady.
Oh, she said, "Mr. Krebs, you're absolutely right." How about that, Dope? Calling me Mr. Krebs. They don't even call my
Maynard,
father.
we already did that.
Oh, she said she'd take every one of the eggs when they had the jamboree.
Oh, Maynard. Maynard, you're wonderful. When's the jamboree?
6 months from last Tuesday. Don't be a faint heart, good buddy. I got like another swinging idea. Like, behold. Only 235 shopping days until Easter. Get your Easter eggs now.
Maynard, how can I thank you enough?
What are friends for?
No, it's no use to me. There's only one thing I can do. Only one thing.
You're quitting school.
Yes, sir, I came to say goodbye.
Oh, now hold on, Dobie. Don't get discouraged. Well, I think you're really beginning to get the hang of economics.
I think not. Sir, you remember those egg futures I was buying hypothetically?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't hypothetical. I really bought them, and I really own them. 15,000 dozen eggs. And I'm quitting school to get a job to make the money to pay back my father.
Oh, Dobie, I can't tell you how sorry I am, and it's all my fault. If I'd known my course properly, I would have taught you to sell those eggs when you were supposed to.
Well, if I'd studied harder, I would have known myself.
I guess we're neither of us businessmen.
You can say that again.
Just a couple of academic schnooks.
How well you put it.
Hello, Dean.
Hello, Pomfret. Goodbye, Gillis.
Goodbye, Dean. Goodbye, Mr. Pomfret. Thanks for everything.
Well, come and see me sometime.
Yes, I will, Mr. Pomfret. Bye.
Well, Pomfret, I must say your students show a great deal of affection for you. Honesty compels me to say, however, that this affection is not shared by the administration.
Now what have I done?
It's what you haven't done. You teach biology, don't you?
Yes, and poetry and history and economics, plus I coach the debating and fencing team.
Well, let's just stick to biology for the moment. Are you aware, Pomfret, that the United States Public Health Service has advertised for bids for a new experimental vaccine?
No, sir.
Of course not. You would know about things like that. You would know that some go-getting biology lab run by some go-getting professor would make a tidy little profit for his university. You wouldn't know about things like that.
No, sir, I wouldn't know about things like that.
Of course not. You're an egghead.
That's right, Dean, did you say that the government was looking for a lab to grow a new experimental vaccine?
So you were listening.
Well, I may not be a go-getter or a wheeler and dealer, but I know biology.
So do I. So what?
So where do you grow a vaccine culture?
In fresh eggs, of course.
Aha!
Aha, what? There isn't an egg to be had in the whole state. Don't you think I've been trying?
How many do you need?
Thousands and thousands. Why?
What would you say if I was to tell you that I knew where to put my hands on more eggs than you've seen in your entire life?
I'd say that you were cracking up.
Boy, have you got a surprise coming, Dean Baby.
And furthermore, Pomfret... Dean Baby.
Dobie!
Yes, sir?
Dobie, my merchant prince, come back in here on the double. Yes, sir.
Now, what's going on here, Pomfret?
Just relax a minute, Dean Baby. You'll find out.
Dean Baby.
What is it, Mr. Pomfret?
Dobie, you wouldn't happen to know where the dean here could lay his hands on thousands and thousands of fresh shell eggs, would you?
Well, it just so happens that I've got thousands and thousands of fresh shell eggs.
Oh, and would you be willing to sell them to the dean?
Delighted.
Well, sir, what do you say to that?
Just call me Dean Baby.
Good morning, Dobie.
Oh, hi, Daphne.
I heard all about your big egg deal at school. You're the hero of the campus.
Oh, I do what I can.
Have you got it?
Got what?
My history homework.
No, Daphne, I don't have it.
I don't understand.
It's very simple. I'm not going to do your homework anymore.
You're kidding.
No, Daphne. A long time ago, you agreed I was a whiz in poetry and history and like that, true?
True.
But I was a knucklehead in business and finance. Well, I just proved I'm not such a knucklehead after all. Now, think it over, Daphne. A man who knows art and culture and also business and finance. Well, a man like that's quite a catch.
But...
I mean, a man like that doesn't have to do a girl's homework in order to hang on to her. And a girl who finds herself a man like that can count herself pretty lucky. Now, think it over, Daphne. Think it over.
Goodbye, Dobie.
Where are you going?
To think it over.
Daphne.
And I think pretty slow. It may take several years.
My poor boy.
Don't tantrum now, Winnie. Chin up, son. Nobody likes a crybaby.
Sure, Dad.
Remember that old thing, boy, about laugh and the world laughs with you, cry and you cry alone. But the man worthwhile is the one who can smile when everything goes dead wrong.
Hey, great. Come here, Dad. I want you to do some smiling.
Huh?
Dad, remember how the college bought those eggs for that experiment?
Oh, yeah, and I was sure proud of you, boy, unloading all that 15,000 dozen eggs.
Yeah, well, Dad, they didn't exactly take all 15,000 dozen eggs.
Oh?
Dad, start smiling.
Oh?
No, Maynard.
No, Maynard, what?
No, Maynard, I will not lend you a quarter for a chili burger with mustard, onions, and sliced bananas.
Hey, how'd you know I was going to ask that? You must be,
The word is psychic.
The word is cheap.
Maynard.
No offense, though, but it ain't your fault you're cheap. It's a cheap way you were brought up by your cheap father, the old Flintstone.
Maynard, that's skin flint, and you're right. But there's a reason. You see, all his life, Dad's had to struggle for every penny he's ever had. He says kids these days have it too easy. They don't know what good hard work is.
Quite so, Gillis, baby. What good is it? Don't crowd, you greedy oafs. You'll bruise the cashmere. Here, fabulously expensive gold watches for you, and you, and you, and...
Chatsworth Osborne Jr. is the richest boy in town. He drives a fancy foreign sports car, he lives in a beautiful house on the hill, and he has unlimited charge accounts at all the classy stores. But with all that, is he happy? Well, yes, I guess he is. But it's not real happiness. Not the kind that's lasting or important. You don't believe me? Okay. Just look at the way he celebrates his birthday.
On this, my joyous natal day, oh joy to me, hooray, hooray!
Chatsworth, you are the utter flaming ultimate. I mean, giving us watches to celebrate your birthday, I mean.
Yes, I am rather sporty, amn't I? There will now be great gobs of appreciative, unsolicited applause. And now for the pièce de résistance. You are all invited, social position notwithstanding, to attend a gala soiree at my palatial home. Halt! Halt, peasants, I command you. Didn't you hear? You were invited to Osborne Manor.
Thanks anyhow, Chatsworth, but I've got to get home and study. I'm weeks behind in history.
Well, no! Come back! Please, compatriots, schoolmates, friends, please don't go. Oh, mice and rats. Dobie, why won't anyone come to my party? What did I do wrong? What?
Chatsworth, listen to me. Those kids turned down your invitation because you tried to win their friendship by paying for it. You'll never be a worthwhile human being if you put money before character.
Oh, come now.
You're supposed to be on my side.
I must admit you are far better liked than I, despite your commonplace origins. You are respected for what you are, not for what your family can buy for you. Yes, you are a fine, upstanding citizen of the future.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No, me neither.
It's true. Tell me, Dobie-Doo, how did you get to be the kind of chap you are today?
Bad breaks.
How I envy you. You must have been molded into your present manly shape by some rock-hard, solid, stubborn, unbending force.
For Pete's sake, Dobie, I've been driving all over this cotton-picking campus looking for you. What kind of malarkey's going on around here anyway?
Dad, I wasn't supposed to meet you to help with the delivery until 4.
What's the matter? It's going to kill you to be a few minutes early? How long have I been yapping at you about ambition and push and get up and go? Boy, if you're ever going to amount to anything in this world, you got to remember the...
Did you ever wonder how come you act like you and I act like me? Well, there's a lot of reasons, of course, but mostly I'd say it's on account of our parents and the way we were brought up. I mean, my parents, for instance, are strict but fair. Maynard's parents are bewildered but hopeful. And Chatsworth Osborne Jr.'s mother's is
I'm a supreme example of American motherhood. Sweet, kind, gentle, understanding. And if you do not stop pestering me at once, it's Devil's Island for you, you nasty boy.
Mumsy, I am not a nasty boy. Yesterday I celebrated my 20th birthday.
That makes you a nasty 20-year-old nasty boy.
Lovable me?
Thanks to lovable you, I will probably have to call off my tiger hunt in India. I can't go and leave you all alone here at Osborne Manor.
Why not? I am perfectly capable of taking care of myself. I am in college. I am a veteran of the armed forces.
Oh, Chatsworth, it pains me deeply to tell you this, but merely being in college and being a veteran does not necessarily qualify you to be a responsible, dependable person.
Yes, I'm afraid so, Mumsy.
You have every qualification to be a man. Age, education, background, and still.
I am nothing but a nasty boy.
True, heartbreaking, but true. No, to leave you alone here would merely mean to invite disaster and quadruple insurance rates. No, Chatsworth, let's face the facts. You are my son. You have many, many fine qualities. most of which escape me for the moment. But I cannot leave you here without a strong, firm, rough hand to lead you around by the ear.
Mumsy, I will try valiantly. Wait! A strong, firm, rough hand. I know just the man. I know.
Oh, simmer down, Chatsworth. What are you jabbering about?
Mumsy, what if I could find someone who is strong and firm and rough enough? Someone who could mold Chatsworth Osborne Jr., namby-pamby weakling, into Chatsworth Osborne Jr., manly man among men.
Well, it would be bye-bye Chatsworth, hello India. Oh, where would we ever find such a man? Someone hard and firm and ruthless. Now that Captain Bligh is no longer with us.
I've got just the man. He'll turn me into the kind of person I so long to be. Self-reliant, firm, decisive, confident.
Mean, rotten, mean, also cheap.
Maynard, you're talking about my father.
That's the fellow, rough-looking. Mean, rotten, mean, also
I know all those things. That's why I want to borrow him.
Borrow my father? Chatsworth, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard
If
of.
necessary, I'll rent him.
Look.
I'd buy him, but I hear tell there are laws.
I don't get this, Chatsworth. I mean, my father's an honest citizen and a veteran, and you get used to him and all that, but borrow him?
Borrow? Who wants to borrow something? Boy, you let me catch you lending anything out of this store, and you'll pay for it out of your salary if it takes the next 20 years.
Mr. Gillis, you are magnificent.
What's the matter with you? You some kind of a blue-blooded nut or something?
Mr. Gillis, I came here to ask a favor of you.
Him? Oh, come now.
Maynard.
Mr. Gillis.
All right, Chatsworth. Tell me what you want so I'll know what I'm saying no to.
I want you to make me into exactly the kind of man your son Dobie is.
I was right. You are a blue-blooded nut.
No, I'm serious, Mr. Gillis. Please listen to me. Mr. Gillis!
This seems to mean a great deal to Chatsworth, dear. Why don't you hear him out?
Okay, Chatsworth, what's on your mind?
Mr. Gillis!
I've heard enough, and I'm against the whole thing. Goodbye.
Look at me, Mr. Gillis. What kind of a person do I appear to be? The truth now.
Well, Mr. G, if you're short on words, I got plenty.
Maynard.
What about you, Mrs. Gillis? How would you describe me?
Well...
Dobie?
Well...
Oh, boy, my turn.
Maynard.
I'm spoiled. True? Snobbish. Overbearing. Snooty.
Yep, them are the words.
It's true. That's exactly the kind of person I've been. Snobbish, snooty, overbearing.
You left out creepy.
All right. Creepy. That's why I need your help, Mr. Gillis. I want you to move into Osborne Manor while Mumsy is away. Bring your family with you if you wish. And make me over. Make me toe the mark the way you did with Dobie. Make a man of me. My life to now has been a terrible waste. I desperately need someone to straighten me out before it's too late.
You know something, Chatsworth? Under that snooty outside, I've got a feeling that you've got a pretty okay inside.
I hope so, Dobie, do I truly hope so.
Mr. Gillis will be overjoyed to help you, Chatsworth, dear, won't you, Herbert?
Now, when
Dad, a human soul's crying out for help. How can you say no?
You're right, son. I'm too big a man to back down in the face of this challenge. Chatsworth, you've got yourself a deal. But you better be loaded with intestinal fortitude, because from now on it's early to bed, early to rise, hard work, the rough and ready life.
Glorioski, I'm beginning to feel stalwart and manly already.
Teaching Chatsworth Osborne Jr. how to become a man was not a job to be taken lightly. But if it could be done, Dad was a fella to do it. In the first place, he doesn't go for any of that fancy bowing and scraping.
I don't go for none of that fancy bowing and scraping. Now cut that out. I want you to treat me like I was a simple person.
He is bowing and scraping to me, simple man. If you were any more simple, it would be indecent.
Hello, Mrs. Osborne.
Gillis, I understand that you are going to attempt to take my place and make a hard-working, earthy man among men out of my poor baby. Chatsworth, button your coat, dear. There's a draft out here.
Mumsy, please. Well, I shall do my best, ma'am. After all, there's good stuff in the boy. It just ain't been brought out right around here. No offense.
And so you intend to bring out this good stuff in him?
Mrs. Osborne, when you get back home, you won't recognize the boy.
Well, I've always tried to do what is right for Chatsworth, ever since his father went to that big board of directors meeting in the sky. Raising a boy alone is not easy for a poor, helpless widow. By the way, Tremblay, call my broker first thing in the morning. Tell him to buy up every share of Amalgamated Tin if it breaks the company and every miserable stockholder in it.
It'll be attended to, madam.
Mrs. Osborne, my husband does not mean that he intends to take your place. It's just that, forgive me, without a firm, masculine hand to guide him, a boy can go off in odd directions.
Oh, no. Don't shilly-shally, Mrs. Gillis. Your coarse working-man husband intends to show Chatsworth that our way of life has been harmful.
It must be true, Mumsy, else why am I so unpleasant?
The word is nasty, but you do have a point. I have absolutely no faith in the outcome of this whole experiment, but I have promised Chatsworth that he may have a go at it, and I never renege on a promise, unless I feel like it. Tremblay, my bags. India awaits.
Farewell, Mumsy. Good hunting.
All right, Chatsworth. Break clean. No! An invasion! Tremblay! My elephant gun!
So it's just me, Maynard G. Krebs.
Call Washington. Try to get President Harding directly.
Maynard's with me, Mrs. Osborne. He gets lonesome alone.
I cry.
Oh, no! Oh, after this, man-eating tigers will be a ladies' tea party. So, they think they can brainwash Mumsy's little lamb. Ha! Mumsy is going nowhere. Mumsy is staying right here and watch them fail miserably.
Here, madam.
Oh, this secret passage goes all through the house. It was built by Chatsworth's great-great-grandfather, Republican J. Osborne. He hid out here through 5 Democratic administrations. Trembling, hide the luggage. There's more than one way to skin a Gillis.
Yes, madam.
The reason this kid is soft and flabby and wishy-washy is because the living around here is soft and flabby and wishy-washy. But no more, all the fancy living is out!
Bravo, Mr. Gillis.
Thank you. I'll have nobody in this house who's a time waster, a slacker, a gold brick, a goof-off.
You rang? My prize, G. When does easy living start?
Maynard, drop that gear, fall in, and start shaping up.
Right, yes, sir, your dictatorship.
And that's the way it's gonna be. Hard work, no frills. Any questions? That's what I like to see. No back talk. Dismissed. And listen, you guys better get upstairs and start sleeping on the double because Reveille goes at 0600. We got to get out there and rake leaves and paint the tool shed and dig a couple of 100 post holes.
6 o'clock, Dad?
Like 6 o'clock? Like bye.
Chatsworth, the idea is don't waken. Keep driving ahead toward that goal.
Never let anything tempt you away from the course that you've chosen to follow. That's the secret of success.
With the two of them as my inspiring examples, how could anything in this world possibly sidetrack me?
Trembling.
You hissed, madam?
Don't look at the picture, you knucklehead. Carry on. Face the other way.
As you say, madam.
This oaf Gillis must be smarter than he looks.
He'd have to be, madam.
He and his idiotically virtuous family have firmly convinced Chatsworth that the soft and easy life is unhealthy.
Good gad, shouldn't we report them to some congressional committee?
No, there's a quicker way. Let us see how long the noble Gillises can resist the soft and easy life when it's offered to them.
Ah, madam is a genius.
Never mind the flattery, Tremblay. Just get cracking. Great-grandfather Osborne was a drinking man, and it's soggy in here.
Very well. Edith, I want to talk to you.
Zut alors, Tremblay. Qu'est-ce que c'est this hard work and qu'est-ce que c'est this blabbermouth Heberty Gillis?
Don't worry, he won't be with us for long. Meanwhile, you take care of Mrs. Gillis. The full treatment.
Ooh, the treatment? Ooh la la?
Right. And I'll be giving old Blabbermouth the treatment double. Ooh la la.
When my father was a boy, he led a very hard life. You know why? Because his family was cheap. Yeah, well, maybe cheap's the wrong way to put it. What they really were was, cheap. But that experience made Dad so tough and strong and hard-headed that the luxuries of Osborne Manor could never soften him up.
Hey, what are you doing in here?
I've come to bathe you, sir.
Listen, the last time anybody bathed me, it was my mother. I was 6 months old, and I didn't like it then. What's that stuff?
It's iguana oil, sir. Most relaxing.
And whatever happened to good old-fashioned soap? Out! Cut that out, will you? If my back gets scrubbed, I'm going to be the one that's... a little over to the right, please. There. That's the spot I never could get a hold of. I'm a full-grown man, and I'm a... No, a little higher, a little...
I want to tell you, make bigger circles.
Fifi, the only reason that I'm letting you wait on me like this is because it's been a long, tiring day.
Oui, madame. And now, madame must choose for herself a beautiful dressing gown from Paris.
A dressing gown? Oh, no, Fifi, I couldn't take anything. That white one. Is that my size?
It is perfect, madame.
Oh, it's been years since Herbert saw me in anything like this. Not since our honeymoon. Oh, come on, girls, hurry up. I can't wait for Herbert to see me. And don't be cheap with that perfume. Oh, poor Herbert, living the rough and rugged life. He doesn't know what he's missing.
Chinese silk pajamas? You must be kidding.
But, Mr. Gillis, sir, at Osborne Manor, everybody wears this type of sleeping apparel.
Look, I let you talk me into that fancy bath, see? But the silk pajamas is out, and that goes for you too, Waldo. Out!
But, sir, what about the midnight repast that cook has prepared? All sorts of goodies?
Don't you know that it is very unhealthy to eat just before you go to bed? Besides, stuff like, this, well, I guess just this once a little snack ain't gonna hurt me, huh? But I don't want you to think it's gonna become a regular habit, see? Give me just a little dab of those fish eggs, Harry.
Of course it won't become a regular habit. How about some of these oysters Rockefeller?
Well, if Rockefeller ain't using them, why not? Say, Blinky, would you mind slipping on my slippers? I've had a hard, tiring day.
That's the way to talk. Now you've got the right idea.
Poor Winnie. She don't know what she's missing.
All right, so Mrs. Osborne's butler found a couple of little weak spots in Dad. But when it came to fighting off the important luxuries, Dad was strong as an ox.
I can have these peeled the next time.
Good heavens, I completely forgot to cancel Mrs. Osborne's flamenco lesson. I'm sorry, Madam is out of town. Bye-bye. Adios. Vamos. Unless, sir, you'd care to avail yourself of the lessons. They are most, shall we say, interesting.
Well, as long as they're here, we don't want to do anything to upset friendly Latin American relations now, do we? How do you turn them on?
Ole.
Ole. Okay, kids. Well, join the party. Hey, look at you. Look at me with the padded kimono and the silk pajamas. Hey, and get a load of this midnight snack over here, huh? And the best entertainment north of Tijuana. Ole?
Herbert, I thought we were supposed to live simply.
Well, Winnie, you know I don't like this fancy living any more than you do, but we got to think of all our other fellow Americans.
Fellow Americans?
Well, sure, all of our other fellow Americans. Take these fish eggs, for instance. Why, if we don't eat them, the first thing you know, the demand for fish eggs starts going down, and it's a known fact that fish eggs collectors have large families, see? Now, what happens to all these little kitties when Papa gets the eggs, huh? Poverty, starvation, malnutrition, that's what. And rubber boots.
Rubber boots?
Well, sure, you don't think a guy can go running around in rivers collecting fish eggs unless he wears rubber boots, do you?
Well, I suppose
and
not,
where do
Herbert,
we
but-
get the rubber from to make those rubber boots? South America. You don't want the rest of the world to figure we're turning our backs on our fellow South Americans, do you? And tortillas, what about them?
Tortillas?
No Spanish dance and nobody wears on heels. Nobody wears on heels. Nobody's buying heels. And all the Spanish heel makers are broke and can't buy tortillas. And then the tortilla makers are broke. And Winnie, you are driving us smack dab into the center of malnutrition, starvation, poverty, and war with Spain and South America and all us fellow Americans.
I'm just no good. I hate myself. Dancers? Ole!
My Spanish blood.
Oh, Herbert, I only hope I'm in time to undo all the dreadful damage that I've done.
Oh, just do the best you can, Winnie Pooh, romance.
Fine.
Not bad, huh?
Thank you. Not bad. Wow. And I feel so patriotic.
that, so we may be up for the birds to start working and learning to... What about the virtues of hard work and the plain, simple life?
Well, Chancey, I'll tell you. You see, it was this way. I can explain everything, but, you tell them, Eddie.
No, please, Mr. Gillis. It's all perfectly clear. Temptation was put in your path and you couldn't resist it. I understand. I've spent a lifetime giving in to temptations myself.
Now, just a minute. So we lived it up a little, but this don't mean that I ain't fit to teach you how to grow up and be a man.
No offense, Dad, but that's exactly what it does prove. Chatsworth brought us here to be shining examples of the kind of person he thinks he wants to be. And we've only proved that no one can really rely on someone else to teach him the things he has to learn himself.
Now, hold on, boy. I think that... Well, I think I've let you down horribly, Chatsworth, and I don't want you to be mad at me. I'm not bad, you know, I'm just weak.
Please, I feel terrible about letting your mother down because we promised that we'd take care of the house for her.
I shall take care of the house, and I shall take care of Mumsy.
You will do what, you nasty boy? Mumsy! Hard-working, homespun, pioneer spirit. Well, now I hope you've learned a lesson. I have been lurking there all day waiting for this moment.
But, Mumsy!
Quiet ingrate?
No, Mumsy, I shall not be shushed like a mere child. Your little boy has become a full-fledged Osborne man.
Chatsworth, this is utter nonsense. How can you suddenly be so sure you're a man?
I don't know exactly how. I just know.
Forgive me for interfering, Mrs. Osborne, but Chatsworth is right. Somehow he knows that he's learned all he can from others. From here on in, everything he does or doesn't do in life is up to him, and him alone.
He's just a boy.
No, Mumsy. To everyone in this room, my actions in the past few minutes have proved that I have become a man. But you still see me as a boy. Only to you, Mumsy. Because you can't see clearly for the love in your eyes.
I guess you're right. Well, now you're a man.
The Mumsies are always the last to know. Now go to India and hunt to your heart's content. Be happy. I am a man now. I shall take charge.
By thunder, I think you can do it. Well, Chatsworth, farewell. I go with a light heart and an itchy trigger finger.
I think I've passed the first test.
You certainly have, dear.
Well, I guess we better get out of here so you can start running Osborne Manor and being simple and rugged and hard-working.
Well, I certainly do want to be simple, rugged, and hard-working. Starting tomorrow. Food, dancing, music, olé!
It's a wonder he didn't pounce on her.
A tiger pounce on me? He wouldn't dare.
Well, we're awfully glad that you're home safe and sound and that you're here having dinner with us.
Oh, it was delicious. Now, you must give this recipe to my chef. What's it called?
Frankfurters and beans. Just call Winnie any Tuesday or Thursday and she'll put your name in the pot.
Well, you men sit here and talk. I have dishes to do.
May I help?
Chatsworth, you weren't listening. Men are to sit here and talk. Dishes are a woman's work. Winnie, will I wash or dry?
Glorioski, my cup runneth over.
Her occupation, husband seeker. Now, what do these two have in common? They're both geniuses. You know how brilliantly Napoleon operated. It's in all the history books. Now watch Zelda Gilroy in action. Barbara Jean, my angel, I can no longer be silent, for a burning question burns in my heart. Will you marry me?
Well, golly, Dobie.
I beg you, my sweet, speak the magic words that'll stir my heart to joyful melody.
Stop the music.
Zelda, you were spying on me again.
What's spying, Poopsie? I'm merely here to help you win the girl of your dreams, whoever she happens to be this week.
Come off it, Zelda.
Stop me the second I say something wrong.
Hey, Zelda.
Young woman, I shall now show you good reason why you should marry Dobie. He's a solid, substantial citizen, true?
True.
So, if you marry him, he won't do strange, unpredictable things. Hence, your life will be quiet and relaxed with no wild, crazy kicks or excitement, true?
True.
Placid, even, bland, homogenized, like baby food kind of, true?
True.
So marry him already.
Yes, so marry me already.
Placid, bland, baby food. No kicks or excitement? Oh, you've got to be kidding. That's strictly Dullsville. See you around, Buster. Thanks, Zelda. You're a pal.
Barbara Jean. Barbara Jean. Zelda, that was a mean, low, sneaky trick.
Yeah, how about that? What, you poor blind fool? When are you going to stop trying to squirm away from me? I'm zeroing in on you, lover, and when my mind's made up, I'm a tiger. What's the use kidding? Zelda Gilroy has an IQ that ranks way up there with Einstein and Dr. Schweitzer and Jack Parr. So how come, with all that great mental equipment, she hasn't trapped me? Well, I'm not one to brag, but there can be only one explanation. Plain, stupid, dumb luck.
It sure fools me you ain't trapped him yet, small girl, because you got like a beautiful brain.
Thank you, Maynard.
The rest of you is kind of spooky, but ooh, that beautiful brain.
My brain is bound to come through for me this time. So far I failed with logic, but now I've come up with a weapon that can't miss.
A baseball bat.
Salesmanship.
Better try a baseball bat.
This book tells how you can sell anything by using the right psychological principles. Listen. First, attract the customer's attention. Second, generate interest in the product. Third, push to get the prospect to put down his money.
I'll take a dozen.
Never mind, Maynard. The same technique that sells a refrigerator can sell Dobie on the idea of marriage. Now look, Dobie's on his way over here now. I'm going to go hide down the stairs and jump out at him. That's part of the first step. Attract his attention. Now don't tell him. It's got to be a surprise.
Oh, boy, I love surprises.
Hi, Maynard. What are you doing?
Waiting for old Zelda to pop up out of the stairs and surprise you.
I wonder what Mom packed me for lunch.
Hello, Poopsie. You notice anything different about me?
You're wearing a new dress?
Dobie.
A new hairdo?
Dobie.
I give up, Zelda. What's different about you?
Okay, you attracted his attention. Second, generate interest in the product.
Right. And what a product. Exciting, novel, trustworthy. Guaranteed to provide loyal and devoted service for a lifetime.
Third, push to get the prospect to put down his money.
Yes, sir. You can make this fascinating little item your very own. Act now. Don't delay. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Well, Dobie? Well?
I can't explain it, but all of a sudden I feel an overpowering urge to run out and buy a refrigerator. Ooh, that's Zelda. When it comes to tracking down her man, she makes the Northwest Mounted Police look like the Keystone Cops. With her around, I wasn't even safe in a classroom.
Today, class, we're going to discuss a subject that is of great interest to all of you. Marriage.
I'm getting out of here.
It's no use. I tied your shoelaces to the chair.
Oh, come on now, Zelda. That's the most ridiculous story you've made up yet. I'm not going to sit here and
Please, Mr. Gillis, no more clowning around. Now, can anyone in this class give me a concise definition of marriage? How about you, Mr. Krebs? I would like a definition that is well-reasoned and thoughtful, and I withdraw the question.
That ain't kind of your diplomatship. You're all the time saying I don't know the answer. Thought you'd give me a chance.
You're absolutely right, Mr. Krebs. Forgive me.
You like forgiven.
Like thank you.
You like welcome.
Can you answer the question?
Like no.
Like that's what I figured. And now to return from this voyage to a lost continent, Miss Gilroy, can you give us a working definition of marriage?
Marriage is a divinely blissful contractual relationship that unites a loyal, hard-working, devoted female to a fortunate, happy forever after male, leading to supreme joy and rapture for both parties, especially the male. Any questions, Dobie?
That's excellent, Miss Gilroy.
That was my definition. Now would you like to hear my opinion?
I have the feeling we just did. So much for romance. Now to marriage. In most societies, marriage is the commonly accepted, lasting relationship between the sexes.
What he said.
Now, what are the reasons that marriage is so widely accepted? Well, here are a few of them. In the first place, married people live 3.7 years longer on the average than single people.
You hear that, Poopsie? A 3.7 years longer life to be happier in.
All right, Zelda, two can play at your little game. 3.7 years. Hear that, Barbara Jean?
As to income, married people make 14.4% more money than single people.
Viva married people!
Married people are better adjusted emotionally. They commit suicide 31.7% less often than single people.
14.4 and 31.7. You get that, lover? Marry me and you'll be wealthier and happier by a total of 46.1%.
Hear that, Barbara Jean? Marry me and you'll be rich as a princess and do very little jumping off bridges.
So we see that marriage brings more money, greater security, better job prospects, and sounder emotional health. All right, now let's open the subject for class discussion. What do you conclude from all this? What are your general views regarding marriage?
Marriage is the most.
Marriage is tops.
Marriage is dreamy.
Marriage is like nothing.
Mr. Krebs, how can you say that?
It's like easy. All you do is open your mouth and out it comes. Watch. Marriage is like nothing.
Weren't you listening to the statistics I quoted?
Sure. I figure I'll live 3.7 years less, earn 14.4 less money, and jump off bridges 31.7 more often. It's better that way.
What's better about it?
I'll be single.
Bad thinking, Maynard. Dobie, marriage is super. And I was all wrong about it before. It's the most. It's the absolute ultimate.
Oh, boy.
Can I be excused, please, Professor? I want to go call this fellow from the Navy who proposed to me last week. I've been waiting long enough to tell him yes.
Barbara Jean. Barbara Jean.
Anchors away, matey. And now, turning to the psychological factors.
You see that, Dobie? Sooner or later, they all run out on you, except me. So why don't you wise up, mister, and quit fighting?
Never, Zelda, so long as there's breath in this frail body.
Yeah, good buddy.
Dobie, you are destined to be mine, and nothing will stop me. Nothing.
Like I do, buddy. Where you been all day?
Maynard, I've been thinking.
It's not my line of work.
Maynard, look at me. What do you see?
I better not say. We've been friends too long.
I'll tell you what you see. You see a failure with a bleak and dismal future ahead.
I see all that? Man, I'm like amazing.
What's going to become of me, Maynard? I mean, let's face it, I'm not exactly the smartest fella in the world.
That's for sure.
Don't agree so fast. Also, I'm not the most talented guy in the world or the handsomest. My folks are hard-working, decent people, but they don't have a lot of money or important contacts.
And your father's mean and rotten, and that don't help. No offense.
No offense. So what kind of future have I got?
Like dismal. You're almost as bad off as me, and that's sinking pretty low.
There's only one chance for me to get out of this rut and be somebody.
Grab it.
I've got to marry Zelda.
Drop it.
No, Maynard. Zelda's been right all along. When I started thinking about what Mr. Pomfret said today, I all of a sudden realized I'd better grab her before it's too late.
You're making jollies, huh, Dobe?
With Zelda's my wife, I'll make more money, I'll be emotionally more healthy, and I'll live 4.9 years longer.
You're pulling my arm, huh, Dobe?
That's leg, and no, Maynard, I'm not. It's now or never for me. Marry Zelda or soup kitchens, here I come.
Attention! Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye!
Yeah, Zelda, you don't have to do that. I've decided
Aha! I've got his attention. Now the
Zelda.
Stir up his interest.
Zelda.
I have here a few audiovisual aids proving that marriage is the most exciting,
Zelda, listen to me. I've decided
Dobie,
to marry you.
Someday you're going to realize that marry me, you, me.
Right.
Maynard, you heard him. He said it. He's going to marry me. He said it. Witnesses, quick, witnesses. Listen, did you hear? He said he's going to marry me.
She's going to be tough to marry without you get a lasso and a neck.
Listen, world, did you hear? Oh, Dobie, I knew you'd come here. I just knew it.
Zelda, you were right all the time. Can you ever forgive me for making you wait so long?
Oh, it wasn't so long. 12 years, 3 months, and 4 days, but who's counting? Oh, Dobie, you'll never regret this decision. I'm so happy. I want to turn handsprings. I want to run barefoot through the grass. I want to do wild and crazy and dangerous things.
Me too. So I'm going to break the news to my dad. He'll blow a stack.
Blow my stack? No, son. I am not going to blow my stack. I am going to dance at your wedding.
Hey, that's great, Dad.
And after I have danced at your wedding, I shall go out into the alley and cut my throat.
Sure, but that's no way to talk.
How other way is there to talk for a kind, loving father who sees his well-beloved son turning into a knuckle-headed snook?
Dad, listen to me.
Boy, why do you have to get married and fall into that miserable trap? Winnie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Son, marriage is a wonderful thing when the time is right. But
But you've got to be ready for it.
I am ready.
And that's what I said. And look what happened, Winnie. I'm just trying to give the boy some good advice.
Dobie, if I may translate what I suspect that your father is trying to say, don't rush into this marriage. Make sure that it's exactly what you want before you do it. Use your head as well as your heart.
Oh, Winnie, that is exactly what I've been trying to say. Oh, you have a gift for saying the right thing at the right time. You've always had that quality, even if you didn't have any other. No, there I go.
Dad, this is not a hasty decision. Our professor, Mr. Pomfret, gave us statistics that prove to me how much better off people are married than single.
Dobie, if this is what you truly want, you must have good, sufficient reason.
Of course I do, Mom. In the first place, I'm kind and thoughtful and considerate, and I think I'll be a good husband.
Can you support a wife?
I said I'd be good, not perfect.
And may one ask where the money is coming from?
One may.
Dad, that's a fair question, and you deserve a fair answer.
And Dobie deserves a fair allowance.
Not really an allowance, more like an advance. But we'll pay you back as soon as we can, working here in the store if necessary.
It won't take too long. That Zelda's strong as a horse. Or a pony, anyhow.
Okay, Dad, you know the facts. Now, what's the answer?
I'll tell you what the answer is.
The answer is that your father and I will think it over for a day or two, and so will you, and then we will make our final decision. Fair enough?
Okay, Mom, I'll be glad to wait a couple of days and give it some thought if you want. I'm reasonable.
Good. And Herbert, you'll be reasonable too, won't you?
Him? Oh, come now.
Okay, I'll wait.
Now I'm happy. I know that my two boys will work it out just fine.
Them? Oh, come now.
Maynard, I've got to get over to Zelda's. Bye, Mom. So long, Dad.
Well, Smarty, and what do you think's going to happen when all four of us try to get into the bathroom at the same time in the morning?
Herbert, it is nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. This house has one bathroom. And what house do you think they are going to be living in?
No, Herbert. What I mean is, there's no reason to worry that Dobie and Zelda will get married. They'll talk themselves out of it just as soon as they have a chance to think about it seriously. And if we fight them, it may make things more difficult.
You know, I think I'm going over to that college and make that Pomfret take back all the good things he said about marriage.
Well, that isn't really necessary, dear, but if you want to consult him, I don't see any harm in it.
Just going to straighten him out, that's all.
All right, dear. But promise me, be calm. No violence.
Violence? Me? Winnie, my boy's future is very important to me. I will be calm and gentle as a lamb.
Who is going to punch whom in the nose?
Pomfret, you get my kid over here and tell him all those good things you said about marriage is a lot of rubbish, or you are going to wind up with a mouthful of knuckles.
Mr. Gillis, I consider anyone who threatens force to be a rude, uncouth hooligan.
Getting tired of those teeth you've been using, huh?
Very well, Mr. Gillis. If you insist upon resorting to the physical.
Herbert, no!
You're talking my language.
Although it has been 10 years since I was a judo instructor in the Marine Corps, I was battalion champion 3 years running. Now, where were we?
I was a rude, uncouth hooligan.
Right, you were.
Yeah, but a rude, uncouth hooligan who's trying to save his son from getting caught in the same trap his old man got caught in.
Herbert!
Oh, Winnie, you know what I mean.
Now, Mr. and Mrs. Gillis, the information I gave the class was not intended to make those young people go charging off to the nearest justice of the peace.
Of course, we understand that.
So, if you will bring your son and Miss Gilroy in to see me, I'll do everything in my power to prevent them from acting hastily.
Oh, you're all hard, Pomfret. And I'm going to have those kids over here quicker than you can say, I do.
I do. I certainly do want to hear what you have to say, Dad.
Of course, I don't expect you kids to pay any attention to my advice. You probably look on me as an old fogey.
Oh, no, Mr. Gillis, really, we don't.
I do.
But if you've got your heads made up to go through with this marriage bit, I think maybe first we ought to talk to somebody who knows all about that kind of stuff, see? And then we'll go along with whatever he says, okay?
Yeah, good thinking, Dad.
We'll find a completely impartial authority, but who?
And now, let's not rush into anything, see? Let's take our time. Let's go over and talk to that professor over at the school. What's his name?
Pomfret.
Oh, that's the guy, yeah.
Hey, that's a great idea.
Excellent choice, but he's always so busy. When will he be able to see us?
At 4:15, he's expecting us.
Believe me, Dobie and Zelda, I realize that the task of advising young people on marriage is a very difficult one.
Except for saying, no, that's a cinch.
However, I have made up a list of the elements that I consider essential in the background of participants in a happy marriage. Now, I would like to check you out and see how you measure up on these counts.
They'll measure up miserable, so what's the use of talking?
Dad, we all agreed to go along with Mr. Pomfret's advice, so we certainly ought to listen carefully to him.
I'm listening. What have I got to worry about? Huh, Pompey?
We shall see, Mr. Gillis. Now, the first item is most important. Are your parents happily married?
What's that got to do with anything?
Children of a happy marriage are more likely to be well-adjusted. Yeah, Mr. Pomfret, my parents are like a couple of newlyweds.
My folks are happily married, too.
Good. You score 100% on that question.
Now, hold the phone. Do you mean that if Dobie comes from an unhappy home, the chances are he won't have a happy marriage?
Well, yes.
Dobie, what makes you so sure your parents are happily married?
What? Aren't we happily married?
Winnie, this is not the time or the place to discuss it.
Oh, yes, it is. If we aren't happy, I'd like to hear about it.
Well, I suppose it would have to come out sometime.
And the sometime is now. Tell me, Herbert. Don't spare my feelings.
Well, Winnie, I'm sorry, but for years I've been running around on the verge of frustration.
Oh? And how long has this been going on?
Ever since the honeymoon.
Dad, if you were that unhappy, Mom and I would have noticed.
Oh, not for me, you wouldn't, boy. I'm the kind who likes to cry privately, like into my pillow.
And all this time I thought you were snoring.
Pomfret, the answer to your question is no. Dobie does not come from a happy home. Next question.
Next question. Dobie and Zelda, did you have a happy childhood?
Yes.
What's that got to do with it?
Happy children grow into well-adjusted adults and make excellent marriage prospects. Mr. Pomfret, I was extremely happy as a child.
Me, too.
You were a pathetic kid, always sniveling.
No, I wasn't, Dad. I was very happy.
Son, you laughed to hide your tears. You come from that kind of stock. You don't remember, but I do. Morose, sullen, miserable. And why? Because you came from an unhappy home.
Herbert, what on earth are you talking about? Dobie was a very happy child, laughing and singing all the time.
Yeah, did you hear that, Professor? That is why he was an unhappy child, because I got a wife who is always contradicting me. Now, it is impossible for a child to have a happy home life when he's got two parents, one of which is always contradicting and arguing with the other. It figures he has to be an unhappy kid. Next question.
Very well. Did you have a strong affection for your mother?
Yes.
Whoa there, whoa.
All right. Speaking for myself, I had a very strong affection for my mother.
I'm talking about this ingrate here, this fresh kid who never did anything good for his mother.
Dad, I love my mother.
That's true. Dobie was always very sweet to me.
Oh, come on, admit it, Winnie. You are just ashamed to tell Pomfret here that we have an unhappy home and a son who is rotten inside. Well, I admit it. I, who am the rotten father of this unhappy father's kid. And the next question.
Did you have a strong affection for your father?
Yes.
And you, tell the truth for a change, will you?
I love you, Dad.
No, come now. How can anybody love me? And that just proves that he's making up the whole blame thing. Next question.
I have no more questions.
All right, and all the answers have been wrong, so let's forget all this marriage jazz and go home. Come on.
Not so fast, Mr. Gillis. You've just given Mr. Pomfret a dramatic demonstration of the love and devotion a father can feel for his son. Mr. Pomfret, don't you see? Mr. Gillis would do anything for Dobie. Lie, cheat, degrade himself, anything. If he thought it was in the best interest of his son.
I realize that, Zelda. And with such a loving family background, academically speaking now, it would seem to me that a marriage between Zelda and Dobie would have every chance of success.
Hey, that's wonderful, Mr.
How can we ever
Pomfret.
thank you,
Hey,
sir?
wait a minute.
Yeah,
What's all
Dad,
this?
Dad, you promised to go along with whatever the professor advised.
Dobie's right. You did promise, dear.
This is the wisest decision you ever made, and you'll never regret it, Papa Gillis.
Zelda, I regretted it before I ever got here. Now it's in spades.
I'm taking down this picture of Napoleon Bonaparte. That's only fair, because Zelda's now in a class by herself. I mean, if she'd been with General Custer, there's no question that the whole thing would now be known as the Indian's last stand. She's unbeatable. So it's inevitable that the day is rapidly approaching when I will be saying two of the truly shattering words in the English language.
I do. Yep, that's what I'm going to say over and like over. When they say, is there anybody here who can give a reason why these two should not be married, I'm going to jump up and say, I do. I'm going to say, you're a bank robber, a safe cracker, a trunk murderer, and you got 3 traffic tickets in the last month, and if that don't work, I'm going to faint. I'm going to faint all over the place. I'm going to faint. I'm going to have to give you artificial inspiration.
Maynard, that's respiration and enough. I'm marrying Zelda, and that's all there is to it. Ah, Zelda, my betrothed. How good to see you.
Hi, Maynard.
Hi.
Maynard, how come you don't want me and Dobie to get married?
Well, it ain't none of my business, so I'll tell you.
Maynard, stay out of
No,
this.
please, Dobie. I want to hear what he has to say.
Well, ever since he got engaged, old Dobie ain't been the old Dobie used to be.
Says who?
Says me. I just said it. Didn't you hear me?
Continue, Maynard. I want to hear this.
Well, he used to go galloping around after chicks, and pinching flowers off Miss Trigney's lawn to give him, and writing them poems that didn't rhyme, and singing under the windows in the middle of the night, and just acting like some kind of nut. No offense, old nut.
All right, Maynard, since you insist on bringing it up, you're right. I did act like some kind of a nut. I was a perpetual schoolboy, always chasing after a rainbow I couldn't catch. But now that I know my future's with Zelda, I've started to act like a grown-up man. And it's about time, isn't it? I'm calm, I'm secure, I'm settled.
You ain't settled, Dobe. You're like defeated, like scared, like playing it safe, and like copping out.
Thanks, Maynard. Thanks a lump.
You're like welcome. And another
Goodbye,
thing...
Maynard. Maynard was just leaving.
I was?
You were.
Oh, well, so long, Zell. So long, Dobe. Hey, I wonder how he knew I was leaving. I didn't even know I was leaving. Man, what an age we live in.
Maynard means well, but sometimes he sees things kind of funny.
Sometimes he sees things kind of better than anybody else. Dobie, why do you want to marry me?
Huh?
It's a simple question. I want to know why you want to marry me.
Holy cow, Zelda, we went through all that several thousand times.
Please tell me, Dobie. It's important.
Well, sure, if you want. We grew up together. We respect each other. We get along. We laugh at a lot of the same things. We're good for each other.
All true. Anything else?
Well, I guess I could think of some more, but...
What about love?
Love?
It's one word you didn't use. It's a word you've never used to me.
Well, sure, I love you, Zelda, but it's a different kind, a quiet kind, a kind you don't run around shouting about.
And you don't pinch flowers off Mrs. Trigney's front lawn for me either, do you?
Zelda.
Or write me crazy poems that don't rhyme. Or sing under my window in the middle of the night.
Zelda, that's all romantic nonsense.
Right. Maybe being romantic is something you grow out of. But how can I grow out of something I never had?
Look, I'd never think of doing those goofy things now. Not with you. I feel differently about you, Zelda. Grown up, mature, settled.
No, Dobie. Don't you see? I don't want you to feel grown up and mature and settled around me. I want you to feel young and goofy. I'm a girl. I'm entitled.
But I just don't feel that way about you.
Well, in that case, I just don't feel like getting married.
Zelda, wait a minute.
The wedding is off.
For how long? Till when?
Till my father has to chase you away from under my window in the middle of the night.
Zelda.
Till Mrs. Trigney has to build a great big huge tremendous fence around her flowers to keep you out. Till my mailbox is flooded with crazy poems and not one single word rhymes.
I see what you mean, Zelda.
You'll like it this way better too, Dobie dear. I'm sure of it.
Yes, Zelda. I guess maybe I will. And, Zelda, I'll let you know when to start looking under your window.
Thanks, Dobie. Dobie?
Yes, Zelda?
Don't wait too long, huh?
Oh, hi, Maynard.
Like, bye, Dobe.
Bye? Maynard, I'm not going anyplace.
Sure you are, good buddy. Into the blessed state of community property.
Oh, Maynard, didn't you hear?
Oh, and so I bring you my wedding presents. Like under protest.
Yeah, look,
Here's
Maynard.
my petrified frog.
Yeah.
My ball of tinfoil I've been collecting since I've been a little tiny baby. And,
Maynard, look.
my most prized possession of all. The only existing statue carved by hand out of soap of Roger Maris in civilian clothes.
Maynard, didn't you hear? We called it off. Zelda and I are not getting married. Well, what do you say to that?
Give me back my wedding presents, you false pretense.
Dobie, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, Zelda.
Small girl, what would you do if somebody gave you the only existing statue carved by hand out of soap of Roger Maris in civilian clothes?
Wash the dishes with it.
Well, buddy, when you called it off, you done good.
Sing.
Zelda, look.
Whoopsie, sing.
Zelda, you promised you'd wait till I was ready.
I am waiting.
Zelda, this is waiting.
You bet your boots. When you get that sudden urge to sing under my window in the middle of the night, I'm going to make sure you're on key, Buster.
Zelda.
Sing.
Where was I?
You were telling me I was a dope, a nincompoop, and a tin-thumbed idiot.
Right.
Mhm.
And you and I are through forever. Here's your high-Y pin and your artificial gardenia. I'd give you back your class ring, but it melted when I was washing my hands.
Look, Mary Ellen.
Don't call me. I'll call you.
Well, back to the old drawing board, huh, Dope?
Maynard, I've got no time for your nonsense. My heart's broken.
Your heart's always broken.
Well, I've got no luck with girls.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, good buddy. In fact, I think you got like a lot of luck with girls. I mean, considering the girls you chase after, the worst thing that could happen to you is if you got them.
That's not true.
Oh, yes, it is, good buddy. You want I should run through some of the names of the mean and rotten girls you've been aped for?
Maynard, I'll admit that I have occasionally made a mistake with a girl.
And I'll admit the sun rises in the east.
But I'm getting better.
Better than what?
You remember that girl I wigged for in high school, that greedy, grubby blonde with the face of an angel and a heart like a computing machine?
Oh, yeah, she was the greediest and the grubbiest. How'd you ever get mixed with a barracuda like that?
I was young, Maynard. But today, even though I may not be the best judge of women in the world,
I'll buy that.
At least I know better than to get involved with the likes of Thalia Miniger.
You ran.
I'm a genius or an Einstein or like that, but I'm not altogether an idiot either. So how come I ever got mixed up with a girl like Thalia Miniger? Okay, so she's beautiful. So her hair's like spun gold and her eyes are like 2 teaspoons of the Mediterranean. And her lips are red and full and luscious. And her neck's like alabaster and she's round and pink and white and creamy. And I just remembered how come I ever got mixed up with a girl like Thalia Miniger.
Hello, Dobie Dumpling. It's so nice to see you again. Mwah! You too, Maynard.
You're gonna kiss me too, are you, girl?
No offense, but no.
What a narrow escape.
Well, aren't you going to say something?
You look wonderful, Thalia.
Thank you.
You've grown since I saw you last.
You too, Dobie. I bet you're a size 40 now.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Well, this is your lucky day. It just so happens that we're running a special on tweed jackets, hand-loomed from the cottage industries of Ireland.
Who's running a special?
Maynard, take notes, honey.
Huh?
The Pylon Sales Company, take notes.
Yeah.
We have everything. Books, appliances, wearing apparel, you name it, and we've got it.
Yeah, and you're a traveling salesman?
Well, I was. Starting next week, I'm going to be the district manager working out of Cleveland.
Then you're not going to school anymore?
Oh, Dobie, you're so silly.
Yes.
Sleeve 33. Got that, Maynard?
Sleeve 33.
Thalia, what are you doing?
I'm making sure that you get a proper fit. You want a proper fit, don't you, Dobie?
Look, Thalia.
Of course you do. Chest 40. Write it down.
Chest 40.
Waist 32.
Look, Thalia. Thalia.
There. Oh, my, what a trim little figure you've got, Dobie.
Oh, come now.
Maynard.
You ought to see him in the shower.
Nonsense. Dobie's turned into be a gorgeous hunk of man.
No, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either.
Write it down. Waist 32.
Waist 32.
Look, Thalia, I can't afford to
To
buy...
pass up a bargain like this. And I'm going to be so proud of you and your new hand-loomed tweed jacket when you take me out Friday night.
You're going out with me Friday night?
Well, of course I couldn't resist a gorgeous hunk of man like you in a hand-woven jacket and a necktie hand-woven by the Navajos.
Thalia, I haven't got a necktie hand-woven by the Navajos.
You don't?
No.
Oh, Maynard, write it down. 6 neckties.
6 neckties.
And 6 pocket handkerchiefs for lard.
Yeah, what's foulard?
You don't know what foulard is?
Uh-uh.
Write down 1 dictionary. We've got that, too.
Yeah.
We just have
Look,
everything.
Thalia, I'll buy the jacket and the ties and the dictionary.
And the handkerchiefs
And the
for
handkerchiefs for lard. But first, I want you to answer a question for me.
What?
This. Haven't you learned anything in the last few years?
Of course I have. I've learned salesmanship, double-entry bookkeeping, cost accounting, amortization,
No, Thalia, you
investment
haven't learned a
counseling.
thing. You're still the same.
Same what?
The same greedy, grubby, money-grasping chick you always were. No offense.
No offense. I'm plenty offended. It just so happens that I don't care a thing about money.
You? Oh, come now.
Well, I don't. Not for myself, that is. I've got to think about my family.
Now, I know. Your father's 60
Has
years
a
old and
kidney
has a
condition.
kidney. And your mother isn't
getting any younger.
And your brother shows
every sign of becoming a
charge.
public charge. So you see, it's up to me, Dobie. I'm the only asset my family has.
Mhm.
This hair, these eyes, these teeth, this face, this body. Take it away and they're ruined.
You're all heart, girl.
Yes, I know. Dobie, darling, I'll see you Friday night.
Yes, Thalia.
7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
And I know you're going to be right on time.
Because you're selling me a new watch.
Good, thank you. Sure, Dobie.
Bye, Thalia.
Poor Dobie.
What do you mean, poor Dobie?
You're hooked all over again on that greedy, grubby chick.
Maynard, if there's one thing I'm not, it's hooked by Thalia Manager.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, yes, I am. Between the time I saw Thalia Manager on campus and Friday night when we had our date, I made up my mind that I wasn't going to get hooked again. I was going to play it cool, calm, casual, composed. Thalia, I love you.
That's nice.
Oh, I know you don't care anything about me.
No, I love you, too.
To you, I'm just another... excuse me, would you mind repeating that last statement?
I said I love you.
You're kidding, of course.
I wish I were, but I've always loved you.
You did a fine job of concealing it.
Because I had to. If it were up to me, I'd have been yours long ago, but I can't think only of myself.
I know your father's kidney condition.
That's right.
Isn't it getting any better?
Well, I don't know, but it's hardly the kind of thing you talk about here, is it?
I guess not.
Well, I decided to put you completely out of my mind, and I thought I'd done it till I saw you the other day. And I knew it was still you.
Thalia, my darling.
Dobie.
Yes, Thalia.
You know I use my hands for emphasis when I'm talking.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. Yeah.
I dropped you once, and I can do it again.
But you love me.
Love doesn't butter any parsnips.
Thalia, I'm never going to have any money.
Well, certainly you aren't. What are you taking at college?
Oh, some wonderful courses. English literature, Etruscan art, medieval history.
Swell. From this, you won't make a dime.
Hey, that's not the point. The point is that I'm broadening my horizons and lengthening my vistas and learning about truth and beauty and becoming a more complete human being.
What you're becoming is an educated bum.
Hey, now, Thalia.
Now, nothing. The semester is over in a few days. Why don't you quit school?
Quit school?
Of course. Become a salesman. You'd be great. Look at that face. No cunning, no guile. Just an open, empty blank.
Thanks a lot.
People have got to trust you. I mean, they take one look at you and they know that you can't outsmart them.
You'll turn my head with praise.
Now, listen. I'm going to be the district manager of the Pylon Sales Company. You take a job with me and quit school.
Quit school?
You already did that.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, look, I can't quit school. How about truth and beauty?
How about these lips and these eyes?
I don't know, Thalia. I just don't know.
All right. I'll be in town for a few more days. You think it over. And while you're thinking it over, I'd like you to remember something.
What, Thalia?
This.
And so I searched my soul. Should I quit school and become a salesman? Should I stay in school and search for truth and beauty? I looked into my heart, and what I saw there were two faces. One face belonged to Thalia Manager. Gorgeous, pink, white, creamy, dreamy Thalia Manager. The other face I saw, I'm bound to admit, was somewhat less attractive. Mr. Pomfret, I admire you, and I'm on your side. I believe in ivory towers and being a seeker of truth and beauty.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Dobie.
Yeah, but there's this girl I'm in love with, Thalia Manager.
Oh, yes, Miss Buy Now and Pay Later.
Yeah, Thalia wants me to forget about poetry and dreams and start earning a living.
I live in an ivory tower because I like the view. But believe me, comes the first of the month, and my tower is carpeted in unpaid bills, wall to wall.
But you wouldn't change things.
No, I wouldn't. Though I must confess now and again to a lunatic craving to see what my wife would look like in a new dress.
And you don't want me to change either.
No, I wouldn't, Dobie, especially not you. I want you to go on writing poetry and dreaming dreams and taking wildly impractical courses.
Then you advise me to stay in school.
Yes, I do. But remember, I'm prejudiced in favor of the academic life.
Well, who else can I go to for advice?
Well, there must be somebody close to you that you can talk to about it, someone who knows you and wishes you well.
You like my dad, you mean?
Well, yes, but of course, being your father, the last thing in the world he'd want is for you to quit school.
You gotta quit school.
But Dad.
Never mind the but Dad stuff. It's getting to be as bad as your mother's now, Herbert.
Now, Herbert.
Now, Minnie. Look, your son came to me and asked for some honest, unbiased, objective, calmly thought out advice. And I am going to give it to him. Son, smarten up, get a job.
The boy still has things to learn in college.
Oh, he sure does. He still has to learn about Japanese finger painting and wildlife in Minnesota and about a bunch of Greek statues that aren't even all in one piece. And this is going to help him earn a fat lot of bread.
Dad, man does not live by bread alone.
Oh, that he does not. He has to have butter and eggs and milk and meat and maybe once in a while a new suit of clothes that his poor old dad shouldn't have to pay for.
Especially when his poor old dad's a miser. No offense.
Well, sir, it was a pretty good fight for a while. Dad was slugging as usual, and Mom was dazzling him with footwork as usual. And all in all, it was a pretty even battle. Then Dad brought in some reinforcements. And from then on, it was strictly no contest.
Well, what's more beautiful than being a salesman? Think about it. When you walk into a place and then you walk out knowing that you've sold something to somebody who wouldn't have bought it unless you'd walked in. Now, that's beauty.
Oh, that certainly is, Thalia.
But Mr. Pomfret...
Oh, Pomfret, what does he know? He's a teacher.
And a darn good one, and the wisest man I know, and he thinks I should stay in school.
Well, of course he does. School is his whole life. He doesn't know about the world.
Look, son, I don't want to knock Pomfret too. He's a great man, but Thalia is right. All he knows about is what goes on inside those ivy-covered walls.
Dobie, you say Mr. Pomfret is the wisest man you know. Now, if he told you to be a salesman, would you be one?
But he told me to stay in school.
I know, but maybe he didn't really understand. You see, if someone explained the facts to him...
You, for instance?
Me, for instance.
You're going to talk to Mr. Pomfret?
Yes, and I'll leave it entirely up to him, okay?
That sounds fair.
Oh, it certainly does.
Good buddy, you know what you are?
Dead.
Dead.
Hello, Mr. Pomfret. Remember me?
Thalia Manager. How could I forget?
My, you're looking well.
Me? Oh, come now.
Well, let's put it this way. You haven't changed.
Not even my jacket.
Which reminds me, we are running a special this month on tweed jackets, hand-loomed by the cottage industries of Ireland.
How nice.
You'd look great in a new tweed jacket.
I'd look great in a new anything.
Here, why don't you look these over?
Thank you. These I can afford. The jackets, no. I hope you haven't come here to sell me something, Thalia.
No.
Or to collect money that I owe for something I bought?
No.
In that case, sit down.
I came to talk to you about Dobie Gillis.
That's what I figured.
Now, I'll get right to the point.
Let me help you. You want Dobie to be a salesman. He's eager, friendly, honest, decent, frank. In short, he has everything it takes to make a good salesman, right?
I'm so glad you agree.
Yes, I agree that Dobie has everything it takes to make a good salesman. And if you want him to quit school and go to work for you, I'll fight you to the death. Excuse me. Pomfret here. Oh, yes, Dean. I've talked to the Maintenance Workers Union. They've agreed to an arbitration. Yeah, well, we'll get together early tomorrow morning. I think I should have it wrapped up by noon. Oh, thank you, sir. Bye. Yeah, well, even these halls of ivy have their little labor problems. I act as a kind of unofficial mediator. Now, about Dobie Gillis.
Look, you've agreed that Dobie'd make a wonderful salesman.
Yeah, but why can't he finish college first? Pick up a little culture.
Well, I'm all for culture. Why, at our sales meetings every month, we have a wonderful talk by some successful banker with picture slides and color.
Well, it's Jim Dandy. Look, Thalia, maybe Dobie is cut out to be a salesman. But right now he's on the threshold of great discoveries. The whole world of truth and beauty is opening up to him. Now, how can you take him away from that and make him into a doorbell pusher?
What's wrong with pushing doorbells?
Excuse me. Pomfret here. Oh, yeah, the bid on the new lab. All right, go ahead. I'm listening. What? $12.80 a square foot. Oh, they got to be out of their minds. No, that's way out of line. You tell them they have to submit another bid, or we'll take our business elsewhere. You're right. Bye.
You wear a lot of hats for a college professor.
Oh, I just double in brass as a purchasing agent. Now, about Dobie.
Let's table Dobie for a minute, Mr. Pomfret. Would you mind telling me exactly how much money you make a year?
I certainly would. I'd mind telling anybody. Why do you ask?
Well, this may sound awfully fast, but that's how I operate. How would you like to come and work for the Pylon Sales Corporation?
Me, a salesman?
No, on an executive level.
Well, I'm flattered, of course, but I'm a teacher.
And a labor arbitrator and a cost computer. Men like you don't grow on every bush.
Well, my wife and children would probably hate me for this, but no, thank you.
You're sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. Now, if we could get back to Dobie Gillis.
All right. Dobie says you want him to stay in school.
That's right. And I'll continue to say it as long as there's breath in this underpaid body.
What is Dobie to you?
He's a student.
Exactly. And you have hundreds of students, and I know you care about them, all of them, but not the way I care about Dobie. To me, he's not just a face in the crowd. He's the only face. Don't ask me why, but he's the one I want.
You really love this boy.
Yes.
And if he wants to stay in college, you won't wait for him?
I can't. There's my family.
Oh, yes, your father's famous kidney condition.
I just can't wait. I'm almost 20.
Good heavens, and you still get around without a cane?
I know it sounds silly, but I cannot wait.
But if you leave Dobie, you'll break his heart.
And mine?
Well, I'm sorry, Thalia. I just can't tell Dobie to quit school.
All right, thanks for your time.
Now, wait a minute. I can't tell Dobie to quit, but I'll do this much for you. I won't tell him to stay, either. I'll tell him he has to make up his own mind, okay?
Mr. Pumpert, you're quite a fellow.
Oh, come on now. I'm just a plain, ordinary guy, wise, brilliant, astute, penetrating. In fact, in every way, I'm superior.
You think you're kidding?
Like heck I do.
All right. About that offer, that executive position, it's still open.
Well, I decline, with thanks.
Well, you don't have to give me an answer right now. I'll be in town till tomorrow morning. Now, you take my card and call me if you change your mind.
That's not a chance.
I don't know. You're full of surprises. Bye.
Dear Mr. Pomfret, no doubt it's an oversight that we've not yet received payment on our bill of 3 months fast. We beg to remind you that legal action is contemplated.
Mr. Pomfret didn't say stay, and he didn't say go. He left it all up to me. So I've decided to quit school and become a salesman. Yeah, me. Pretty weird, you say? Well, if you ask me, I'd say the same thing. But nobody asked me. They told me. Thalia told me. My mother told me. But most of all, my father told me.
No, Dobie. That is not the way Thalia told you to do it. Now, let's try it again, huh? And this time put a little more pizzazz into it. Now, remember, you're going to ring the doorbell, and a young housewife is going to come and answer the door. Now, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Bring!
Yes?
Good morning, ma'am. I represent the pylon...
When you say that, smile, boy. Smile while you're saying it.
I represent the pylon sales...
Put your foot in the door like I showed you.
Dad, I don't want to force my way in where I'm not welcome.
You're welcome. You represent a big, important company. Now,
Why,
go ahead.
certainly. Remember, you are a salesman, not some sloppy kook who just wandered in off the street.
You rang?
No, nobody rang, Maynard.
Hey, good buddy, you want to come downtown and watch him knock down the old Endicott building?
No, you can't now.
I mean, you're leaving town tomorrow. It's the last time you see that old ball go...
No, we're busy.
Cut that out, will you? Dobie ain't got time for that kid stuff anymore. He's got a whole new life opening out in front of him. He's going to be hard-hitting and aggressive and resourceful and successful and miserable.
Here, I finally managed to get your suitcase shut, but I couldn't find room for these books.
What book?
From my English course, Dad. Just some poetry.
Poetry? Do you want the rest of those guys to think you're some kind of a nut or something?
Dad, look, Dad.
Never mind, darling. I'll send them on to you afterwards, after you've made a good beginning.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Think of it, my little Dobie starting his career. He's going to be a salesman.
Yeah, with a corner office someday.
Air conditioned.
And a private secretary.
And a sign with gold letters on the door.
And it says, gentlemen.
This is it. This is the last time in my life I'll be standing here.
The moving finger, whatever that is, hasn't written yet. You can still change your mind and
No,
still
the
keep
die is
digging truth and
cast.
beauty. I mean, I don't dig it so good myself, but it's kind of nice to have around.
Here, look, Maynard.
And, Dobe, how about all them professors that teach us about truth and beauty? I mean, they're really nice guys, you know. They have to be nice to put it with me, true?
True. No offense, but true.
Yeah, and how about Mr. Pomfret? I mean, maybe he grumbles and he grouches, but, I mean, you see that light up there? That's his office. I mean, he's still up there working at this hour.
Yeah. Maybe I ought to say goodbye to him.
Yeah, I think you ought to. I mean, just because you're walking out like a dirty skunk is no reason you shouldn't be friendly.
Yes, dear, I'll be home soon. I'm just going over the monthly bills. No, not paying, just going over them. Oh, now, don't worry, dear. We'll manage somehow. Yeah, all right. Goodbye, dear. Is Miss Thalia, manager, there? Oh. Well, when do you expect her in? Well, would you ask her to call Professor Pomfret at the college, please? Yeah, thank you. And I'll wait for her call. Oh, Dobie.
I saw your light on.
Oh, well, I'm glad you did. Come on in, Dobie.
Thanks,
Sit
Mr.
down.
Pomfret. Thank you.
What can I do for you?
Mr. Pomfret, I'm here to say goodbye. I'm quitting school to take a job.
Oh?
I'm going to be a salesman with the Pylon Sales Company.
Well, that's very interesting.
Honest, I'd like to stay in college learning about truth and beauty and like that, but I've got to think about my future.
Of course you do, Dobie.
Mr. Pomfret, you don't really mean that.
Oh, yes, I do. Heaven knows I value the liberal arts, and I'd like you to finish school, but, well, we all have to be practical.
You're not just saying that to make me feel better.
No, not at all. There's nothing wrong with a business career, and from what I hear, Pylon is a real live wire outfit.
Mr. Pomfret, you're a wonderful man. I wish I could be like you.
Oh, come now,
No,
Dobie.
I mean it, sir. You're a dedicated person, a scholar with integrity.
Dobie.
Sure, you struggle to make ends meet, but that's not important to you. What's important is truth and beauty and getting young people to appreciate it.
Well, Dobie, I'm
I'll
not
always
really
remember
as...
you, Mr. Pomfret. No matter how rich and successful I get to be, I'll always remember what I missed by leaving college.
Dobie, what will you miss?
Oh, lots of things. The lectures in class and the bull sessions afterwards in the cafeteria. Yeah, and the football games and the pep rallies and the pretty girls at the proms. And the homework even. And the goosebumps I get sometimes from listening to a poem or a symphony. And I'll miss sitting on the mall just feeling glad to be part of all this. And you know something, Mr. Pomfret? I just decided the Pylon Sales Company can go jump in the lake.
Good for you.
Even if it means losing Thalia and having my dad break me into little pieces.
Dobie, this calls for a celebration, and I'm treating.
Don't lose your head, sir.
Hi, boy, I'm going to buy you the biggest hamburger that you've ever seen.
Your phone, Mr. Pomfret.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Aren't you going to answer it?
No, I know who's calling, and she's got the wrong number. Boy, has she got the wrong number.
Cheer up, good buddy.
Cheer up, he says. What's there to be cheerful about? I'll never see Thalia again.
Sure you will. She'll probably be back in the spring to slay a lightweight suit.
Oh, Thalia. Thalia, I'm so glad to see you, even if it's only for a minute.
Dobie.
Try not to think too badly of me, Thalia. I only did what I had to
Dobie.
do. And I want you to know that even though you may be in Cleveland and I may be here, we will always be together, you and I, right here in my heart.
Dobie, I'm not going. I'm staying right here. I've enrolled in S. Peter Pryor Junior College.
Thalia, is it true?
It's true.
Yeah, but what about your father, his
Kidney condition?
Yeah.
Well, that's all cleared up.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Actually, he never did have a kidney condition. All these years he's been going around with his pants buttoned to his vest.
Then you and I are going to be together, both members of the freshman class.
Uh-huh.
So what do you got in the suitcase?
Freshman beanies at $1.98 apiece.
Thalia, I'm so glad to see you. I'll take one. Have you got change for a $5?
Oh, you know me better than that.
that's all you know about it. I, honest Dobie Gillis, am no stranger to crime. I've lived with sin and corruption. You don't believe it, do you? Of course not. Nobody believes that a sweet kid like me could ever do anything mean, low, and underhanded.
I believe it, good buddy.
How can you say such a thing?
You just open your mouth and out it comes. I believe.
Maynard.
I know, Dub, I know. I mean, I know you're like honest and decent and loyal and true blue and kind and a real human being.
Thank you, Maynard.
But on the other hand, you're also sneaky, mean and rotten and kind of a skunk.
How can I be both?
Well, it's easy. With me, your friends, your parents and teachers, I mean, you're a real American and heck of a good sport. But with chicks, you're a perfect fink.
What are you talking about? I love chicks.
Yeah, Dobe, that's why there's nothing you won't do to get one.
Well, I'll admit that in the past I have done a few shabby things to get a girl.
Yeah, like lying and robbing and stealing and
but it was all for love, Maynard, and anyhow, that's all over now. I'll never chase another girl again.
Oh, you're gonna live in a cave and become a helmet.
Yeah, Maynard, that's hermit. You don't understand.
You not chasing chicks? No, I don't understand. Clue me.
Yeah, does that answer your question? My darling.
My angel.
My goodness.
Maynard, this is Giselle Hurlbut.
How do?
Like hi.
Have you ever seen anything more beautiful in your life?
Oh, sure. Lots of things. Let's
Giselle.
see. My litter of baby ducks, my souvenir pillow from the Okefenokee swamp, my mechanical pencil that writes in 4 different
Maynard.
colors. Enough?
Good thinking.
I got one more.
Keep it.
Of course I will. You think I give away my petrified frog?
You'll have to forgive Maynard. He's a little, shall we say, eccentric.
Should we say nuts?
Yes.
All right, so I ain't so bright, but I'm brighter than you are, Dope, because I ain't in love with no chick who's gonna dump me and I don't know it.
Maynard, how innocent you are. Giselle and I love each other, don't we, my dear?
Yes, Pumpkin.
With all our hearts.
And all our souls.
And we're going to be together forever and ever.
Well, not quite that long.
Yeah, I know, my dear. It's just a figure of speech. What I meant is we're going to be together for years and years and years.
Well, not quite that long.
How soon you walking out on them, girl?
Next Thursday.
Giselle Hurlbut loved me with all her heart and soul, and yet loving me the way she said, it was Giselle who set my feet on the path to crime and degradation. She didn't mean to, of course. All she said was that she was going to walk out on me next Thursday. Well, naturally, I thought it was some kind of a joke. Giselle, I said, it can't be true.
It's true.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Giselle, you're kidding.
No, Dobie. Thursday you and I are finished.
But what have I done?
Nothing. That's just the point. Dobie, have you got any prospects or connections?
Him, oh, come now.
Have you got a bright future?
Him, oh, come now.
Are you rich?
Me, oh, come now.
What's your father do?
Mostly he yells.
Yeah, well, he's a grocer.
Sometimes he growls.
Is he a big grocer?
About 5'11" in stocking feet.
Well, actually, it's not a big operation, but Dad's very well liked in the neighborhood, and Maynard enough.
So your father's got a little dinky corner grocery.
Well, who's your father?
He reads meters for the gas company.
So how come you're looking down your nose at my father?
Dobie, I'm sure your father is a very fine man.
Giselle.
Dope, can I say it?
Do you feel you must?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
Would you please repeat the question?
I said, I'm sure Dobie's father is a very fine man.
Him? Oh, come now.
Feel better? I'm delighted. Maynard, if you'll excuse us. You were saying, my dear?
Honest, Dobie, I'm not looking down my nose at your father, but just think. Your father is a small-time grocer, and my father reads meters for the gas company. Well, put them together, and what have you got?
A meter reader who yells.
What you've got is a pair of paupers.
Hey, that's kind of hard to say. Peter Piper picked a pair of paupers.
The problem is I'm being terribly selfish. I'm not thinking of Alice and Phyllis.
Who are Alice and Phyllis?
My sisters. They're twins. Dobie, it was a big sacrifice for my family to send me to college. I mean, everybody sacrificed. My father and my mother and Alice and Phyllis. Naturally, I've just got to pay them back.
Like how?
Well, like finding a rich husband, so Alice and Phyllis can go to college and find rich husbands, too. And all I've got is just a couple of years, and that doesn't give me much time to find a husband. Well, let's face it, I'm never going to find a rich husband here at S. Peter Pryor. I've got to go where the money is, Radcliffe.
Radcliffe? But how are you going to find a rich husband at Radcliffe? It's a girls' school.
True, but Harvard is right next door, and that's where the money is. I mean, all those rich millionaires from the East send their sons to Harvard. It's simply crawling with young, eligible men who are just loaded with money.
And thus Giselle, sweet Giselle, good Giselle, great-hearted Giselle, led me into the dismal valley of sin and corruption. Of course, Alfred Lord Tennyson helped, too.
Alfred Lord Tennyson was perhaps best known for the stirring poem called Crossing the Bar. Sunset and evening star, and one clear call for me. And may there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to sea. Mr. Gillis, can you explain the hidden meaning in these lines?
No, sir.
Well, try, Mr. Gillis.
If you don't mind, sir, I don't feel much like it.
This funk of yours, Mr. Gillis, and I speak as a long-time observer of your funks, can only be the result of a reverse in love. But I would remind you that in recent years you have lost girls beyond the counting of them. And still in all, your health, respiration, and color remain normal. In short, Mr. Gillis, you will recover.
Not this time, sir, because for the first time in my life, I found the real thing and lost it.
Dobie, you mustn't say that. You must think of Alice and Phyllis, who will never get to college if I don't go to Radcliffe and find me a rich husband at Harvard.
But what about us?
What about Alice and Phyllis?
What about Alfred Lord Tennyson? Now, Miss Hurlbut, I do applaud, of course, your desire to lead your sisters into a snug harbor. But this is, after all, a classroom, I think. Oh, yes, it must be a classroom. There goes the bell. All right, class, except for Mr. Gillis, dismissed.
Giselle, listen.
Please, Dobie, dear, don't make it any harder. I must do what I must do.
Giselle. Mr. Gillis, Mr. Gillis. Mr. Krebs, what are you doing here?
I'm with Dobie. I mean, wherever he goes, I go. I mean, he's like my good buddy.
Very well. Mr. Gillis, Dobie, you'll forgive my getting personal, but you mustn't let this business with Giselle Hurlbut get you down. I mean, it's bound to have a bad effect on your studies, and we just can't let that happen. Not to you, Dobie. You're a very special person.
Yeah, you are a very special person, Dom.
Dobie, if the gruff old professor can get a little misty for a minute, I want to tell you that you are one of the most likable young men that I've ever met in my whole career as a teacher. And I don't want you to think of me as a teacher.
I don't.
Maynard. I want you to think of me as a friend. Now, you're going to do good things in this world, Dobie, and I stand ready to help you whenever I can. So please, feel free to call on me any hour, any time, any place.
Maybe the boy could come and live with us.
Oh, hello, dear.
Hello, and it's 5 o'clock.
Have you met Maynard Krebs, dear?
How do, dear?
Maynard, this is my wife.
Oh, excuse me. How do, Mrs. Dear?
And this is Dobie Gillis.
Yeah, how do you do, Mrs. Pomfret?
How do you do?
Don't forget, Dobie, call on me anytime, any hour, any place.
Hey, how about tonight,
Yes, sir.
Dobie? You do anything tonight?
No, but the professor is. So long, troops.
Yeah, goodbye, Mrs. Pomfret.
Goodbye, dear.
Maynard.
Leander, you know I hate to complain.
But you manage, don't you, my
Well, I'm sorry, sweeting. I mean, I know that teaching is a calling and not a business, and I know that you are dealing in human souls, and the work you do is the most important in the world. I mean, I know all that. I should. You tell me every night.
But it's true, Maude.
Yes, and it's also true that you spend all day here, and when you come home, you always have papers to prepare, exams to correct, or lectures to write. When you come home, that is. I mean, half the time you spend the nights here going to faculty meetings. Leander, do you know the last time we went to a movie together?
I don't remember.
Well, neither do I. Do you know something? They say that movies talk now. Well, I sure would like to see one sometime.
Well, I'll make it up to you, Maude.
Yes, you will. Tonight. I got a sitter for the kids, reservations for dinner, and 2 tickets to a movie, a talking movie.
Tonight?
Tonight.
Yeah, but I have a dean's meeting tonight, and then later I have to prepare the exams.
And tomorrow you have to correct them.
Well, of course.
And Saturday.
That's the intramural softball
And
finals.
Sunday.
The Glee Club recital.
And Monday
It's
is school
school.
again.
Now, Maude, you don't regret it, do you?
Oh, heck no.
Good.
No, I mean, I have my memories. Will you ever forget that crazy, mad weekend in 1947? Just the 2 of us, laying linoleum.
Come here, teacher's pet.
Hey, watch your glasses.
Maynard, I'm not going to do it.
Good for you. Not gonna do what?
I'm not going to let Giselle get away from me.
You got no choice. Comes Thursday, she's running off to Radcliffe.
That's right, but I'm going to Harvard so I can be near her.
And how, pray tell, are you getting the money to go to Harvard?
From my father.
Him? Oh, come now.
Maynard, I figured out a very ingenious plan.
You got a plan to get money from your father?
I have.
And you think it'll work?
Maynard, when I spring this plan on my father, it's absolutely inevitable. He'll send me to Harvard.
Send you to Harvard? To the hospital I'll send you.
Dad, you haven't thought it through.
I've counted it through, boy. You are not talking to Herbert T. Millionaire, you know. You are talking to Herbert T. Corner Grocer with the sore feet and the tired bank account, and the answer is no.
Dad, I know it's expensive to go to Harvard.
Then how come you don't know better than to ask me?
Look at it this way. It's an investment in my future.
What future?
That's just it. If I stay at S. Peter Pryor Junior College, what kind of future have I got?
Dim, boy. Dim.
But if I go to Harvard, I can really take advantage of my one asset.
And what is that one?
Dad, do you like me?
Have I got a choice?
No, I'm serious, Dad. Forget that you're my father.
Oh, I've tried.
If I was just a fella, no relation, would you like me? Tell the truth.
Of course I'd like you, son. You're a nice kid.
Okay, Dad. Now, you like me. Maynard likes me.
Maynard. Now, there is a reliable witness.
The guys in school like me. The guys in the Army like me. You know why? Because I'm likable.
Okay, boy, you're likable. Give me a kiss and let's get to work, huh?
Dad, pay attention. The guys at S. Peter Pryor are all wonderful. I'm not knocking them, you understand, but they come from plain people, just like I do.
So that's where you belong. Why do you want to go messing around with these hoity-toity mental types at Harvard?
Think, Dad, think. I go to Harvard, right?
Wrong.
Okay, so there I am at Harvard, right?
Wronger.
So they put me into a dormitory. Naturally, I've got a roommate. Now, who's this roommate going to be? Not the son of a grocer or a plumber or a meter reader. This roommate's going to be a rich man's son. You follow me?
No, and I don't know as I want to.
Just picture it. Me, likable me, sharing a room with a rich millionaire's son. Well, naturally, he's got to like me, seeing that I'm so likable. And then one day, his father comes to visit, and he starts to like me, too. This likableness kind of piles up. And before you know it, he offers me a job starting at, say, $20,000 a year. His son will insist on it, seeing that I'm so likable. Well, after that, it's only a matter of time. From 20,000 to 30,000, pretty soon 40, 50,000, 60, way up there I'll be. Dad, I'd like you to meet my roommate, Henry Cabot Lute Jr.
Oh, enchanté.
Enchanté. And his father, Henry Cabot Lute Sr.
Enchanté.
Gillis, I'm a blunt and direct man. I didn't get to be president of Amalgamated, Consolidated, Universal, Global, Worldwide Industries by beating around the bush. I'll come right to the point.
Enchanté.
I gave your son Dobie a little job at $20,000 a year because, well, he's a likable cuss and he's a good friend of my boy. But it was Dobie's own drive, initiative, and spunk that carried him through to his present position as vice president in charge of marketing dynamics, raw data integration, and point of sales promotion at a salary of $1 million a year.
Enchanté.
Dad, what's the matter? Dad?
Son, what are you doing standing there wasting your time?
Wasting my time?
Sure, you're just standing there, and who do you think you're waving at when you should be getting ready to go to Harvard?
Harvard?
Sure, you know, boola boola.
Dad, that's the Yale song.
Yale, Harvard, what difference does it make? They both mean money, right? Right, so come on, let's go. Boola
Dad.
boola, off to school. Doo-doo-doo.
Like, hi, good buddy.
Oh, Maynard, it's wonderful to see you, and goodbye.
What are you doing?
Waiting for Giselle, and goodbye.
Gee, I'm glad you ran into me.
I ran into you?
Because I got to tell you something. Dobie, you're going off to Harvard, and you're going to leave your dear friend Maynard G. Krebs all alone behind. And I know you feel bad about it, but you mustn't worry, because I'll get along fine without you.
I'm glad, Maynard. What'll you do?
Cry.
Listen, Maynard, you're my best friend in the world, and if a man could speak, I'd tell you just how much you mean to me. But let's face it, we won't always be together. Someday soon I'll be getting married.
What's the problem? I'll move in with you.
Maynard, it's just barely possible that my wife won't want you living with us. Then what?
Gee, that's rough, Dobe. And there's only one thing to do. It's rough, but you're right. It's got to be done.
That's right.
We get rid of her.
Hi, Dobie.
Ah, Giselle, my angel, my tiger, my dove.
Dobie, I've explained to you that it's all over. Now, what's this urgent message you sent me?
Only this. When you go to Radcliffe, I'm going to Harvard. What? Aren't you delighted?
Well, I don't quite know. I mean, I'm going away to find a rich husband, and who will I find? You.
Ah, but once I get to Harvard and make friends with all those rich, important guys, which of course I will, being such a likable cuss, then I'll get rich too, don't you see?
That's right, you will.
Of course I will.
Oh, for joy.
And then we'll get married and take care of your sisters, Alice and Phyllis.
And me too. I'll come live with you. I mean, I don't need much room, just a little place for my bongos and my hi-fi and my baby ducks and my human skeleton and my iguana. And he don't eat too much.
We'll talk about that later, Maynard.
Much later.
Well, my dear?
Well, Dobie, I think it's wonderful because you know I love you.
And I love you.
And I love my iguana.
You'll get your transcript in a couple of days.
My what?
Your marks. They'll be coming out the day after tomorrow. Well, naturally, you'll need a record of your marks here at S. Peter Pryor in order to get into Harvard.
Yeah, naturally, yeah.
But it's just a formality. I'm sure you'll get a good high average.
How high does my average have to be?
Oh, a B should do it.
Goodbye, Harvard. Hello, Pryor.
Does it have to be a B average? Couldn't it be a little lower?
Something like an F+?
Dobie. You are doing well in your studies, aren't you?
Oh, not too bad, except a course in poetry.
Well, so what's the problem? There's an exam in poetry tomorrow. The early works of Alfred Lord Tennyson. All you have to do is get a real high mark and you'll be home free.
Well...
You'll do it, won't you, Dobie?
Well...
For me? Oh, come on.
Well, yes, Giselle, for you I will.
Of course you will.
Like heck you will.
You remember what I said about crime, how a sweet kid like me tumbled into a life of sin and degradation. Well, here it comes now. First, let's establish the scene of the crime. It happened in the home of my teacher, Mr. Pomfret.
I have just finished preparing the questions for tomorrow's final exam in poetry. I am now as free as a bird. And I, my love, am going to take you to the last show at the Bijou, which starts in exactly 15 minutes. I'll get my coat.
Oh, you are all heart, Leander.
Except, of course, for my giant brain.
Which isn't working too good tonight.
What's wrong?
Well, it is now 9 o'clock. Where are we going to get a sitter for those kids at this hour?
You mean it's not possible?
Not remotely possible.
Oh, Maud. Gosh, I'm sorry. I know how wretched it is for you being cooped up here all the
Oh,
time.
no. Let's not make an opera out of it.
You sure about the sitter? There must be one somewhere.
Like where? And I think I have just found the answer.
Good evening, Mrs. Pomfret.
Like hi.
Like, hi, come in, my little messengers from heaven.
Dobie, Maynard, what are you doing here at this hour of night?
Well, sir, I know it's late, and I do hate to bother you at home, but remember what you said. If I'm in big trouble, I can call upon you at any hour, any time, any place.
Yeah, you did, Mr. Pomfret. I'm a witless.
Maynard, that's witness, although you could be right.
Well, sir, there's a big exam in poetry tomorrow. True?
True.
And I've got to get a real high mark on that exam. I mean, I've just got to.
Yes, Mr. Gillis, you are in big trouble.
And so, Dobie, you thought you might get a little tutoring. Is that it?
That's it.
And you too, Maynard.
No, I'm just with Dobe. Actually, I don't want to come here at all. I want to go down to the Bijou. There's a gas of a movie there, The Monster Who Devoured Cleveland.
So I've heard. Get your hat and coat, Leander.
Now, wait a minute, my dear. You sure you know what you're doing?
I'm sure. And go. Boy, let me ask you something. Do you care about my husband? As a teacher, I mean.
Oh, I sure do, ma'am. In fact, I don't look upon him as a teacher. I consider him a friend.
Aha, you think of him as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how would you like to be a friend to him?
Well, sure, ma'am, but what can I do?
You can babysit with our children while I take Mr. Pomfret to the movies.
Oh.
While I try to bring a couple of hours of sunshine into that bleak and dismal life.
Yeah.
Now, boys, can you find it in your hearts to say no?
Not me, lady. I'm all heart.
Oh, I knew I could count on you. My darling, wonderful news. Dobie and Maynard have volunteered to babysit with the kids while we go to the movies.
What? I don't know.
It's all right, and hurry.
Yeah, she's right, Mr. P. The monster's probably got Cleveland half devoured by now.
Oh, good heavens, we must fly.
Okay, Maud, you win. Oops. Listen, I've got to hide those papers on the desk. That's the test in poetry the boys are taking tomorrow.
I'll do it, honey. You go warm up the car.
Okay.
Well, boys, I'm sure you won't be having any trouble. The kids' room is up the stairs and to the left, and the refrigerator's in the kitchen, and the cookies are in the cookie jar, and God's in his heaven, and all's well with the world. Good night, my darlings.
Swell. Just what I needed. Babysitting. Maynard, on account of you, I'll never learn enough about the early works of Alfred Lord Tennyson, and I'll flunk that test cold, and I'll lose Giselle forever. Boy, life is miserable.
It sure is. I was hoping Mrs. Pomfret might be hiding something embarrassing in here. You know, like a baby picture of Mr. Pomfret on a bearskin rug. And something to blackmail him with, but there's nothing but these questions about the life and poems of Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Oh, my future's bleak. I'm... early works of Alfred Lord Tennyson?
Yeah, what a drag. Not even like a prison record or an old love letter or anything.
Let me see that. Test compiled by Leander Pomfret, The Life and Poems of Alfred Lord Tennyson. You are looking at a man at the crossroads. Would Dobie Gillis, honest, decent American boy, copy those test questions and start down the path to shame and dishonor? Or would he follow his basically noble, decent instincts and reject temptation? In all due modesty, may I say that there was never a moment's hesitation. It was strictly no contest.
Let's do it.
If it's just one time.
No more. Just one time.
Yeah, just this one time. Yeah, now, let's see.
And thus we see that Alfred Lord Tennyson symbolizes in his work impartially heaven and hell, flesh and spirit, good and evil. Class, I have the results of this morning's poetry exam on my desk. Please pick them up on your way out. And, Mr. Gillis and Mr. Krebs will remain behind. The rest of you are dismissed.
Uh-oh. How well you put it.
What's wrong?
No, nothing, my dear. Just a little worried about the
You
test.
told me you answered every single question.
Oh, I did.
Well, Miss Hurlbut, 95. That's very good.
Thank you.
There are your papers, boys. Oh, why aren't you smiling? It isn't every day that someone gets 100 on a poetry exam.
Oh, Dobie, dear, you did it. Now you can get into Harvard, and I'll go to Radcliffe, and we can be together forever and ever. And I'm just so happy I could kiss you.
Yeah, Miss Hurlbut, please contain yourself. The rules about kissing in classrooms are quite specific.
I'll wait for you outside.
Yes, you do that. Well, Mr. Gillis?
Well, what, sir?
Isn't there something you'd like to tell me?
No, sir.
You're quite sure?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. Krebs?
I'm with Dobie.
I see. All right, boy, that's all. You're dismissed.
Hi, sweetie. I had to take the kids to have their braces tightened. What's wrong, Leander?
Plenty.
Tell Mama.
Now, you remember last night when Dobie and Maynard were sitting for us?
Yeah?
Well, I think they found the examination questions. I think they cheated on the test.
Oh, come on, Leander. I know they're a couple of kooky kids, but cheating? What makes you think that?
Well, Dobie got 100 on the
It's
test.
possible.
Maynard did too.
Oh, you've just won your point. Well, what are you going to do about it?
There's nothing I can do. Hurts me, Maud. Really hurts me. Thought I knew those two boys. I even thought maybe they'd picked up a few notions about honor and decency from what I taught them.
Mr. Pomfret, Mr. Pomfret, I've got to tell you something. I just can't keep it bottled up anymore. I haven't been able to eat or sleep.
Me too.
Out in the hall just now, Giselle kissed me, and even that didn't make me feel good.
Me too.
Giselle kissed you too?
No, but I wouldn't have liked it anyhow.
Boys, is there something on your conscience?
Mr. Pomfret, try not to hate us. We're not bad, just weak.
Especially me.
We cheated on that poetry exam, Mr. Pomfret. We found the questions at your house last night and looked up the answers.
Thank you, boys. You've made me very happy.
Huh?
I'll have to flunk you, of course.
This makes you happy?
Of course not, Maynard. What makes me happy is that my faith in you two has been justified. I've never been so proud of being a teacher as I am right at this moment.
And I've never been so proud of being a teacher's wife.
Well, there goes Harvard.
Yep.
And Giselle.
Well, chirp, good buddy. You always got me.
Yes, Maynard.
And you always will. I mean, it's you and me side by side for the rest of our lives.
I'm afraid so, Maynard. I'm afraid so.
And so you're not going to Harvard, huh?
No, Dad.
Me neither.
Well, Harvard's gain is our loss.
It isn't Harvard I miss, Dad. It isn't meeting all those rich kids and getting to be a rich man myself.
Is that my boy who said that?
No, Dad, it's not the money. It's something else.
What possibly could enter into an oh, what a stupid question. Who's the girl?
Her name's Giselle Hurlbut, and she's gorgeous, and she's lost to me forever.
Not lost, Dobie. I'm here and I'm yours.
Giselle, I thought you'd gone to Radcliffe.
No, Dobie, I'm not going.
But what about Alice and Phyllis?
Who? Giselle's kid sisters. They're twins. Both of them.
Dobie, you know what I told you about my father, how he works at the gas company reading meters?
Yeah.
Well, the other night he brought home 2 sniffers for supper.
Sniffers? Oh, boy, do I love sniffers. What'd you do, pan fry them?
No, Maynard. Sniffers are men who work for the gas company. They walk around in the gas main sniffing to see if there's any leaks.
Miss, continue, please. I don't know what you're talking about, but you fascinate me. So your father brought home 2 sniffers.
Yes, nice boys, just out of high school. Well, anyway, they met Alice and Phyllis in Wham. It was love at first sight. They're engaged now.
So now you don't have to go to Radcliffe and find a rich husband.
Now I can stay right here with poor you. And what's the difference if we don't have any money? We can always live with your folks.
No, me too.